Yeah. Welcome to Knifewear. This is our garage sale preview. I'm Kevin Kent. If you've never, well, here, let's talk about the garage sale is first. The big deal about the garage sale is a couple times a year I go to Japan. In a good year, in a normal year, a couple times a year I'll go to Japan. I'll meet with blacksmiths, some people that we know, some new friends. I'll buy sample knives and one-of-a-kinds and sometimes overstock or things like this. And we get a really strange collection of knives that we don't normally carry, right? It might be new knives, like a new line from people we've been buying from for years, or maybe a new blacksmith we've just met, or something completely unusual, like this knife here from Fujimoto, with a really fancy, cool handle on it. So we have the sale twice a year, usually around May and now in November. And what we're doing today is we're just having a quick preview of some of the knives that are going to be available, some of the knives and things that are going to be available. The sale starts Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So 10 a.m. Eastern time, which is 8 in Calgary, which is where I am, which is 7 in Vancouver, where they are. And it starts right on that time, and the sale runs for a week. And sometimes, and this year's not going to be an exception, Naoto, we've got extra knives coming in partway through the sale, correct? So okay, yeah. So we've just received some today. We're going to be having some more in. Usually by Thursday, we've got a few more knives in for the sale, which is great. So today we're going to look at some of the knives. And I wish I could show you here. I'm going to pick this computer up and show you kind of what's going on here. So behind the scenes here, we've got knives all over the place. Look at this. So we got tons of knives, and we're going to talk about them. Now is a great time to ask questions because we're live on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Nathan's at the ready. I believe he's going to shout out any questions you have. If you want to see a knife in particular, if you have a question about knives, anything like that, let me know. I'll just kick it off here with this. We deal with a blacksmith called Kurosaki. And Kurosaki-san is from Echizen, Japan. He is one of these like hot younger blacksmiths. And he is making beautiful stuff these days. So right here in my hand, so this knife, look at that. He's really famous right now, Kurosaki, for making this textured blades that are really funky that nobody's ever seen. The great thing about a textured blade like this is that food doesn't stick to it too much. And it looks really, really cool because he polishes like that. So this knife here is a Santoku. It's 165 millimeters. It's from his line called Senko, which is his new line. They look a little bit like fireworks, I think, these dimples. And this Santoku is $292. I don't know, Naoto, what line or what's the steel in the Senko knives? Okay, so it's R2 powder steel in these knives. And the Senko knives have, you can see, octagon handle, and I believe it's rosewood with a white pakka-wood collar there. I was thinking this like a reverse handle because the normal Japanese handle, the most traditional Japanese handle, has a white handle with a black collar, and this is a dark handle with a white collar. Big fan of that, and everything Kurosaki. Here's Mike. Look at that, running around. Yeah, Mike. The R2 Senkos. Oh, everybody loves the R2 Senkos. I am going to see if I can dig that up right now. Oh, that's at Mason's. Well, that's a bummer. So that knife is still at the photography. So we can't get that one to you. Sorry, buddy. But do ask us any questions. We've got all the answers, hopefully. Hopefully. Here is another knife from Kurosaki. And check out this, right? So this pattern here, he calls these Raijin. But look at this funky handle. So we've got some of these, I call them psychedelic handles. See the shape of the handle there? But yeah, it's got that red stripe in there, the blue, and the other. I don't know what kind of wood this is. It looks like box elder maybe, and it's got some color and some dye, and it's a stabilized wood handle anyway. But look at that. Nathan, is there any questions at all?
Yeah, so we got a couple folks on YouTube. Howard Chat. Well, see the
Tosa Karochi Bunka. It's in my hands. Look at that. Naoto just threw this at me. So here is the Tosa Karochi Bunka. I don't know what you want to know about it, but it's white carbon steel. It is a very, very traditional looking hammered knife. They've left the black on it, the Karochi. And listen, for a hand hammered knife, it's $117. So not at all crazy. Like that's, and we have at least 2 of those. I know we've got some other things from Tosa as well. Oh, when I said at least 2, what I meant was 25. So that's $117. Those are going to be gone pretty quick during the day, I think.
We got a few more questions on the old YouTubes here. Mount Everest wondering, is there anything like the Kurosaki Shizuku from the last garage sale?
We have a bunch of we have a bunch of Kurosaki Shizuku. Where is the Shizukus? So I'm just looking now for the Shizukus. I know that we have a number of them.
I'm going to link them in the comments too, just so you can take a look at them online.
So the what's the steel now for the Shizuku? It's R2 again, isn't it?
Yeah, usually.
So it's R2 powder steel for the Shizuku. Ah, yeah. I had a 240 in my hand just a second ago. I've got a 270. Does anybody want a Shigefusa 270 millimeter Gyuto? So this is straight off the presses from Shigefusa land. $970. It is a 270 millimeter Gyuto. Shigefusa is one of these blacksmiths now that if you want to buy a knife from Shigefusa and you want to have a custom one, it's going to take you like 24 years to get it. It's also, there's a really famous knife maker in the States called Bob Kramer. And last time him and I were hanging out, he was saying that he really thinks that Shigefusa is the best blacksmith in Japan right now. But I'm not sure how many blacksmiths he's met from Japan. But anyway, we have 2 of these 270 Gyutos from Shigefusa, and we have 1 of the Nakiri, if I can find it. Here it is. So it's one of the Karochi Nakiri, $489. So there we go. These 3 knives are the only Shigefusa knives we have in the garage sale right now, but they will be gone in the first 10 minutes of the sale. So really, if you are interested in some of these one-of-a-kinds at the garage sale, and some of these really hard to get knives, what you should do, and this is just the best trick you can do, is put it in your cart and go pay for it right away. Because the first person that pays for it gets it. It doesn't matter if 12 people have it in their cart. The first person that pays for it gets it. So avoid disappointment basically on the really like the one-of-a-kind and the really unusual knives.
Well, we do free shipping in North America, so you're not going to get shipping if you make.
Right, and we do free shipping in North America over $200. If you want to buy like one really super deluxe knife that's one of a kind, buy it first and then go back and then make your other purchases. That's what a lot of people do. And even just leave a note on there and say, add this to my other order and this is the order number, and then we can just ship it all together. And it's not a problem at all, and it will get to you right away. Usually at Knifewear, we try to ship within 24 hours of getting the order, but for garage sale, it's going to get very busy for shipping. So we are going to take our time, and it might take 2 or 3 or 4 days for the shipping before it leaves us. And I'm sorry about that, but what we want to do is we want to make sure that we test every knife, inspect every knife, and make sure you get the right knife. We hate making mistakes. So we're going to take our time to make sure it's perfect. You know, the knife is perfectly sharp. The knife looks perfect. There's no flaws. it's packaged right. We give it, when we package the knives, we package them up in a bundle, and then we give them a shake test. If we hear any rattling, we go back and put more packaging in, because we don't want that knife to get damaged in transit at all. And all of these steps do take time, but hopefully, and we've got, you know, almost 100% success rate, hopefully the right knife gets to you in the perfect condition. That's what we're really after. Nathan, more questions?
Yeah, a couple more questions. So Corey Barrow, I think I remember him from last garage sale. He's asking, any knives from Takamura this garage sale?
You know what? Corey's asking about Takamura knives. In this garage sale, I thought we had some Takamura knives. I didn't unpack any yet on this table that I've got around me. Naoto, is there any Takamura knives on the garage sale this year? All right. Well, while they're looking for those Takamura knives, I'm going to answer some more questions. Nathan,
yeah,
questions?
So, Emily has a nice general question. Can you just show us some Nikiri shaped knives?
All right. So somebody wants to see some Nikiris. Let's go. What do we have here? This is a V1 steel Nikiri. So it's a stainless steel. Not quite as hard as VG10, but still hard enough that they must laminate the steel. So this knife will stay sharp for a good long time. And this Santoku, or this Nikiri, is, oh, I don't have the price on it, guys. Sorry. The price is, well, the Santoku is $125, and I'm guessing the Nikiri is the same price as well. So it's $125 there. So there's one Nikiri. Here's another fun Nikiri, a VG10 from Matsutani. Damascus Nikiri. Look at that little pattern. Isn't that cool? I always like his patterns. And this handle is one of the smoothest handles that we get. You must have a great machine for making handles. So that Nikiri there is $138. So again, a Damascus Nikiri at $138. Certainly not breaking the bank. That's one of those knives that we get for a lot of garage sales because it's just a really easy knife to love. Let's see. I'm gonna now Nathan, hold on. So I'm gonna find a couple more Nikiris here. Here's another Western handle Nikiri, and this one's from Kato-san. And if you've been to our garage sales before, you've seen this knife before. I'm a huge fan. Kato-san generally only makes a Santoku, a Nikiri, and a Gyuto in this line. So we don't carry it. It's not really a full line, but we do get them for garage sale every year because I think they're really great. I know that Rance, that used to work with us, bought one for his mom. She loved it so much that she came in the next day and bought the matching one for her sister, which is cool. So that's $325 for a hand-hammered VG10 Damascus Nikiri. Let me see if I can find a Nikiri with a Western handle, or maybe a strange handled Nikiri. You know any Nikiris with a strange handle here? Nathan, have you seen one?
I'll take a quick peek here.
Well, how about this? Let's look at this. And somebody shout out the price of this. This is the Shizuku Nikiri from Kurosaki. Again, he's famous. This is $306. It's R2 powder steel. And again, Kurosaki is famous for this tsuchimi patterns he makes. So he makes his own hammers and carves up his hammers in a way to make these really cool patterns. And Shizuku, I believe, means river rocks. Isn't that, Naoto?
That's a drop. Water drop.
Oh, water drops. Sorry. So it looks like, isn't it? It looks like rain, to be honest. And I think that is a cool little blade. And we're going to stick a sticker on there. Thanks, Nathan.
I got a quick one here.
We got some more questions.
We got lots more questions.
Oh.
So, a friend of ours on YouTube is looking at the Musashi Nishiji 210. That's California.
Phil, here is your Musashi Nishiji 210. It's $290. Nathan, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's it's Shirogami steel.
Yeah, white
with
stainless.
With stainless on the outside, so clad with stainless. Look at that finish, right? Not one to just leave a Nishiji finish alone, but he polishes it too. Musashi-san apprenticed with quite a mirror polishing guy in Sanjo, where he works. So he loves a mirror polish knife. So even his Nishiji blades, which is this rough pattern, these are even mirrored up a little bit. So that's a $290 hand-hammered 210 Gyuto from Musashi. Questions, Nathan?
Yep. Always a question. We've got what's their name? Simon Clifton wondering what will it be available in terms of Algami super knives.
All right, listen, we're going to get back to these. I've got 4 of these carved Gyutos, or 4 of these carved Debas, and these are engraved by Michiko in Sakai. And this is, how can you see that backward? There we go, that's the dragon. So we've got a dragon and a geisha and a koi and a collection of koi, but we'll look at those in a second. All right, was there a shape we want to see in the Moritaka AS? Simon, I'm grabbing my top 3 Moritakas here, Moritaka AS. I love Moritaka-san's knives. They've been a blacksmithing family for 720 years. They're now in their, what they call the new house. They've been there for 400 years. Yeah, like they've got a garden. They've got a rock and moss and whatnot garden out in front of the house that's been there for generations. I love this. I love this so much. And such good humans too, right? They're down in Kyushu Island and 720 years of blacksmithing. They know something about what they're doing. So these are their Algami Super range. So you see they leave the Karochi finish, which means it's black finished here. That's just the steel getting burnt from the heat. This one's, if I can read that backwards, $355. Nope, $322. Look at that, I saved you 33 bucks. So there we go. That's the 210 Gyuto. And I think their Gyutos are great, but I think their Nikiris are outstanding. Look at how flat that edge is. And you can see there's no light coming through there. That is a flat edge on this knife. A few people find these a little bit tricky to use when they first start using them because they expect the knife to rock and it's pretty much dead flat. So the stroke you do with their Nikiri is like this. So the back can push it forward down to the blade. You can also pull, but you certainly don't do this kind because there's no rock to the blade at all. So that's their Nikiri, which I think is one of their best knives, but I think the best knife they make is their Hanasuki. And Mike and I were there in October last year. And this is a special one. This is like a one of a kind, to be honest.
Don Penny was wondering about Hanasuki too.
Oh, Don Penny, this is the one you want. This is the one of a kind. This is Algami Super, but they've put the Ishime finish on. So they do the Ishime finish for us exclusively. We were their first customers outside of Japan, and we've been buying their knives and friends with the Moritakas now for 13 years. Although it's really funny because they kept my first order, and last time I was there, they showed me the receipt of my first order I placed with them. It was 8 entire knives. And that was really hard for me. I had to really scrounge to come up with the money for that. That's back when we had no customers and Knifewear was just in its infancy. So this Ishime finish, what happens is it's a cold forging process to put this texture in. It's like Kurosaki does with his knives to get this texture, but they also don't want to knock the black off as well. So they got to be careful with that. And Moritaka-san told me that the Ishime finish toughens up the steel and makes it harder and less likely to bend. So he says, if you take Algami 2, like they usually make our Ishime knives in, and you hammer it, it starts performing like Algami Super, which means it's going to stay sharp a little bit longer. And the other great thing about the secondary cold forging technique when they're hammering to get this texture is that it toughens the steel up and the knife is less likely to bend. Because they make their knives pretty thin, and sometimes the knife can bend. So by putting the secondary hammering in there, they've solved that problem. Come with octagon handles. These are walnut, correct, Naoto? Walnut and black packerwood handles? Yeah. So there you go. This is the one. So this is the only Algami Super Hanasuki that I've ever seen, which means it's the one. It's the one and the only. A funny thing, when Mike and I were down there, when Moritaka-san, we're having dinner with them just before we, like on our last night there, and they asked, like Moritaka-san said, why do you sell so many why do you sell so many Hanasukis? And I said, oh, because they're a great knife, you know, like we use it for chicken poultry, and we do Hanasuki class in the shops, and people really like the knives. And he said, oh, is it a European shaped knife? I went, no, it's Japanese, man. And he says, well, not in Kyushu. In Kyushu, I've never seen that knife. He said, okay, I guess we have to back it up. Sometimes when I place orders with my blacksmiths, I have a spreadsheet that I have to fill in the blanks about how many I want. And sometimes if I don't see what I want, I just add it to the spreadsheet. So I just added Hanasuki and put 12 beside it one day. And then he said, okay, well, we'll make this. So we went to Google and did an image search to find out what a Hanasuki was. And then he thought about it. He's like, okay, it's a butchery knife. So we're going to have to make the spine a bit thicker because we want it to be tough. So the spine's a bit thicker. We want it to be tough when you're around bones. So we have to change the geometry of the blade a bit. The way it's sharpened, you'll see. Can you see there? It's really quite a large wedge, right? It's sharp, but it's at a really fat angle. And that's so that the blade is more rugged when you're going around bones. He also made the tip. If you look at the tip, see how fat the tip is up here? Ow. Up here? Yeah, I cut myself, I think. Not bleeding though. Up here, but the tip is also really strong because Hanasukis often can lose their tip. So he thought about how it was going to be used, looked at a picture, and then made what I think is probably one of the best Hanasukis we carry, if not the best one. So that's funny because I think it's not something about his knowledge of knives. It says, instead of something negative, I think it's positive, right? It says, this man can look at a picture and then knock it out of the park and make the best Hanasuki we've ever seen. They are ironclad, not stainless clad, so the whole blade can rust. So be careful with that. So use it, wash it, dry it twice before you put it away. If you're going to put it away for more than a couple days with a carbon steel knife, either store it in this little brown paper that comes in here in the knives. So if you're going to store the knife for more than a couple of days without using, put it inside this brown paper that comes with them, right? Just goes like this. So put it inside the brown paper, or get some of the camellia oil. We've got the Kent of England camellia oil, and just put a bit of that on the blade, and that stops any moisture in the air from oxidizing your blades. Your blades won't rust at all. Nathan, questions?
Non-knives for sale. You know, like things that aren't knives.
Things that aren't knives. I've got 3 things in my hand. Is there prices on these? No, but you've put them in my hands. Put some prices on these, and I'll show you these.
I'll start with that.
But I'll start with this. Here's a non-knife. Bum-ba-ba. What do you think's in here? Look, it's got a little drawer. What do you think this is? It's $135. This is the slicer for Katsuobushi. So if you've ever had Japanese food at all, if you've ever had dashi, or if you've ever had miso soup, first to make miso soup, you make dashi, and dashi is a stock, like a stock that, you know, cooking school here, they taught me to make out of chicken bones or beef bones or pork bones. But the stock here is made with kombu, so seaweed. They boil the seaweed, and then they get this katsuobushi. So it's katsuo fish, which they've dried and smoked the loins until it's basically rock hard. They've petrified this loin. And then they use this slicer to get really thin flakes. It's also called bonito flakes in English sometimes. So there we go. So the blade just pops in the bottom like this, like in a woodworking plane, and you can see the blade sticks out, and then you just run the katsuobushi over top. The flakes collect in the drawer here, and then you just pull the drawer out. Ta-da! And you've got your flakes, and that's what you use to make your dashi, or any other thing that you're using katsuobushi for. I know that, Mike, who's your friend in New York? David Chang. David Chang has been making katsuobushi. He's making an American version of it out of pork loins. That'd be interesting too. So that's what these things are for. So we've got these as non-knives. Well, this is the knife that I'm going to show you anyway, because it's kind of a weird knife. It's like a utility knife. Look at this. It's a whale. It's like a little whale craft knife. So these come from Tosa. They're $67. And I just love these. So we've got these ones. These ones will all go pretty much the first day, except now, did we get any sperm whales?
I think so.
Like the round nose ones? Yeah, it seems that these ones go, like kind of humpbacks go and minkies go first, but the sperm whales seem to be the ones that, if you're looking for one of these whale knives and you're coming on Tuesday for the sale, there might be a sperm whale left for you, which is weird because I always think they're the coolest ones. We also have these. Rocket Boy. No, Pocket Boy. So we got Pocket Man, and these are folding double cut saws. They're a pull cut saw. If you've ever used a Japanese wood saw, you'll be blown away. Tiffany, that's way back there behind you. Tiffany, is this the one you have? Yeah. This is the pull saw that Tiffany has. She does a lot of camping and outdoor stuff. And she sent me an email almost immediately with photos, singing praises. Did you write a poem about it, Tiffany? I remember there was possibly poetical thoughts, but it was a song. So she made a song about it. So there you go. And $55. You want a pull saw, you want to go out in the bush, this is the one. So we've got this one here, 55, and these two here at 52, a little bit smaller, slightly different tooth. This one's less aggressive. So I guess you'll have less jagged edge and less sawdust as opposed to the more aggressive edge. But Naoto's going to tell me about it.
Finer ones, you can do the plywood, bamboo.
Oh, so the finer ones you can do something we really need to do a lot of in Canada is bamboo or plywood or hardwood, says Mike, the woodworker. Visti uses one of the bone saws. So Visti Kerr, who took the photos for my book, uses one of these as a bone saw. Him and I are going out shooting deer 2 weeks time, 10 days. Here, talking about Visti. So Visti took all the photos for this book. So this book is called The Knife Nerd Guide to Japanese Kitchen Knives. And I wrote this a few years ago. You know, it's got the day in the life of a blacksmith. So I followed Kato-san around and right from morning, steel deliveries, starting a fire, having lunch, whatever, to the end of the day. So we took photos of that, just wrote about it. So each blacksmith we dealt with has its own chapter. Here's one of Hinura-san's knives. We should go look at that. We've got one here at the sale. Anyway, the book, it shows you like how knives are made, how to sharpen knives, how to build a set, what to look for when you're buying a knife, that sort of thing. Knife Nerd Guide to Japanese Kitchen Knives, available at all great bookshops and here. Also, by the way, Nathan doesn't know, we are doing a reprint of this book next year, so it'll be around for next Christmas, and I'm rewriting most of it. So I'm having to go at the 3 spelling mistakes that people have pointed out endlessly, and yes, there's 2 on one page, 312, I get that. But we're going to shoot a bunch more pictures of Visti. I hope we can get to Japan next year. So hopefully shoot a bunch more pictures because we got a lot of new blacksmiths we want to feature. We're going to add about, I think, 6 blacksmiths or 7. We're going to take a tour of the Hadayuki factory, and Shibata-san's writing an intro, and Andrew-san wants to talk. He wants to write a little bit about passing the torch, because Andrew-san's kind of retiring and passing things on to Ikeda-san, and he wants to write something about that for the book. So I think that's really cool.
Maybe this one will get better Amazon reviews.
It got great Amazon reviews, the book. Nathan's giving me shit here.
You want to do some quick fire questions?
Quick fire questions. I'm on it.
Including our top fan on Facebook, Penny. He wants to see some Hanasuki. Do we have anything other than Moritaka?
Yep. Don Penny. I'm looking for a Hanasuki for you. Oh, here's a couple of Hanasuki Kumos. These are made by Andrew-san, as we were just talking about. But look, they got funky, funky, funky handles on them. Like, look at those. Those are rad, hey? Although still, Don Penny, I think the because I know what you want it for, and I think the Moritaka one's a better choice for you, because these ones are a bit thinner, so they really do a good job. They cut up they cut up chicken like a surgery almost, right? They're beautiful that way, but I think these make also a fantastic petty knife. So, oh no, did I put them in the right boxes? Guys, we've got, oh no. So these, listen, I've done a terrible thing. These knives are all, I don't know why they let me come here. These knives are one of a kind because they all have unique one of a kind handles on. And I think I've just messed up the boxes because they're all numbered, 1 and 2 and whatever. So when you order it, we want to make sure we send the one you want. So Nathan, can you make sure those are in the right boxes, please? We've got to have another Hanasuki around here. Mike, do you have one? Do you see one?
Where's the thing? Oh, it's right here.
Oh, right. This is for $109. $109. This is the Pro M. This is, I believe they are AUS 8 or molybdenum vanadium. Either way, they're probably AUS 8 or molybdenum vanadium. Not a super hard steel, great for Hanasuki. This is a single bevel Hanasuki, so it's got the bevel in the front and the back's flat. It's $109. What I love about these knives, these handles are fantastic. Super smooth, super great feeling, but come on, 109 bucks? This is a killer price for a great butchery knife. We've got a whole line of these knives, and again, they're all between, I think the biggest one's 130 bucks. I think the 210 is, oh, sorry, the 210 is 199 bucks. But I think day in, day out, stainless steel knife, it's a great one.
That's a great knife for someone who's used to just using a steak knife.
Yeah, here's a little Santoku, not too big, it's 165 mil. It's not too tall either. And like Mike says, he thinks this is great for somebody who uses a petty knife for most things, but wants to kind of step up to something a bit bigger. That's a great beginning. 109 bucks, easy peasy, man. And Ellie has thrust something into my hands. I'm not sure what Ellie has thrust into my hands. Oh, it's a Kurosaki. Yeah, there's no price on it, there's nothing. I know nothing about this knife. So what Nathan's going to do is he's going to put a price tag on there. It's a Kurosaki, but we've listed as a Hanasuki, not to confuse people, but a Kurosaki is just like a bit bigger Hanasuki. We're going to put a price tag on it, and we're going to find out something about this knife. It's $404. Now, so quick, give me a rundown on this. I don't buy all the knives for the garage sale now because Naoto is our head purchaser, so he's been helping us order for the last few garage sales. And this year we didn't go to Japan. We did everything on Zoom. So I got my little headphones on, and that's how we visited Japan this year. We visited all of our friends on Zoom and that's how we bought all these knives this time. And this is a white carbon 2 Kurosaki. Sakai? So it is Sakai Takiyuki. So there we go. It looks like one of their boxes. Oh, there. It says it on the blade, too. I suppose I could just look. So there you go. I don't read Japanese, but I recognize that Sakai Takiyuki. So this is $404 for a single bevel, hand hammered. This is a Kurosaki, right? It's bigger than a Hanasuki. So usually, here, where's a Hanasuki? I'll show you the size difference. And it says Kurosaki on the box, so I'm not crazy then. So Naoto calls it a Hanasuki because he thinks we're all dumb. And he's decided to call it a Hanasuki. But here's the big size difference, right? You see the Kurosaki. This one here is a lot bigger. And a single bevel too, I really like that. Fujiwara makes them as single and double bevels. I want one from Fujiwara-san as a single bevel because I think that's a cool knife. I might order a custom from Fujiwara-san for a Denka Hanasuki for myself, single bevel. That'd be nice. These go over here. Hit me up with questions. You said speed round.
So what about the en route Zuchime?
Oh, I don't have a price on that one, but you can put a price on that one. So these are the Algami Super Zuchime knives from Anrasan. These are, I don't believe they're stainless. So it's Algami Super with stainless clad on the outside. So we don't have to worry about the rusting on the outside, just along the edge there. So this is one, oh no, sorry, what is this? I guess it's 221. You've put the dash where the price tag is supposed to be. So somebody's kind of priced that weird, but it's Algami Super, $221. There's the blade. You can see the Zuchime dents in it. Look at that, it's cool. With the octagon handle. And that is the Kobanka. This is the 210 view toe, and it is $331. Again, ooh, look at those dimples. So this is Anrasan. Anrasan is in the midst of passing over the torch to Ikeda-san, who's worked with him for years. And Ikeda-san, if you don't know, he also hammers all of the knives for Kotetsu and all of the Tinker Tank, the Tinker Shark Tooth Deba, and the Tinker Big Tank. You don't know about this, but Big Tank is coming one day. And oh, and then what was the saber tooth? Is that was the other one? That was like the Yanagiba. So anyway, so Ikeda-san does all those, but he also does the knives for Andrew-san, and he also does the Kumos and the Mizu for Masakagi. So he's a busy boy, and he's also, I think, probably the strongest man I've ever met in Japan. Plays rugby. He's a blacksmith all day, and that kid is strong, man. That kid. What is he? 40 now? 35? Yeah, the kid.
Sean Buckle was wondering about Andrew Guto, so I guess
There's your Andrew Guto. Nathan, keep firing. You said it was a speed round, man.
hey, pretty boy.
Keith Carlson, you might not know this, but Keith Carlson's got the sweetest buns in all of Alberta. He sells cinnamon buns that are about this big out of his restaurant Claire's home, called Roy's Place. But his name is Keith. I don't understand, Keith. Maybe he bought it from Roy. Ever think of that, Mike? So he makes massive cinnamon buns, and every now and again they feature him on some TV show, and he goes in at midnight and starts making buns because he knows he'll sell 300 that day. Bonkers. They're so delicious, but you will be very full after you eat one.
Jordan Williams is wondering, can you show some kids?
Yes, I can. I've actually got a super secret Kurosaki. So Jordan, you said?
Yeah.
Jordan's asking about Kurosaki. Here is what I think a lot of people think Kurosaki is. It's basically a gyuto with this kind of cut off tip. And that's like the modern interpretation of two-sided gyuto Kurosaki. This one is the Zu-in. It's R2 powder steel, $371 for a hand-hammered Damascus 210 Kurosaki. But the more traditional Kurosaki is a single bevel. And this one's really special. We've only got one of these. There's only one of these in the world. Although I'm really going to try to trick Musashi into making more of these because I think these are brilliant. Oh, it's a double bevel. I thought it was a single bevel. So again, it's a double bevel. Usually Kurosaki that I know is a single bevel. This one's a double bevel as well. But this is from Musashi, so he's mirror polished it. But if you can see the edge there, it's really smoky on part of that bevel there. That's not because he did a bad job of sharpening. That's because that is the hamon. This knife is heat treated like a samurai sword. So they call this Hanyaki. So it's one piece of steel, but the way it's been heat treated, the top of the knife, the top level above that wiggly line is softer steel and the edge is much harder steel. So they've heat treated one piece of steel in a way to give two hardnesses. And that stops the knife from being brittle and breaking if you drop it. So the softer steel acts like a shock absorber, right? But this is one of a kind. This is Musashi's Hanyaki. He's made these before. I've never seen them before. I don't think he's made one in years. I am going to ask him to make more. This one here is 2,132 small Canadian dollars. So if you're watching from the United States, that's about like $8, I think. Our dollar is very poor right now. But there you go. A mirror polished Hanyaki heat treated Kurosaki. And I want more of those. Don't touch the blade. And here is a single bevel Kurosaki. So it's flat on this side. I don't know if you can hear Mike in behind me. You probably can't. He's saying bad words and looking at that knife. Stop it. Mike and I really like mirror polished knives, but there's not many. Naoto does too, but there's not many people. Not a lot of our customers like mirror polished knives. But man, that is nice. That is my thing. Whew. So this is a single bevel Kurosaki. So this one is made by. This is Musashi. It's in his boxes. So yeah, this is a Musashi one again. This is a single bevel. That means this is probably white carbon. Yes, it is. Oh no, it's WP2. Oh, it's white paper. That's a secret code. So it is white carbon steel, like I said, hand hammered by Musashi-san. And this one is $396. So it's $1,800 cheaper, but $1,800 less cool. Nathan, is there more questions, man? Oh, am I going too slow? Should I like chop, chop, chop and ask questions better? Okay.
So we've got that one. Do we have scratch and dent Mabaroshi Nakiri handy?
Okay, we've got some scratch and dent knives. We got a Mabaroshi Nakiri, Fujiwara Mabaroshi Nakiri. Naoto's digging it out right now. We'll talk about it right away.
We got top 3 Hanasuki, but I think you just did that with for done.
Top 3 Hanasuki, done. It's easy. Get the Garasuki because it's cool. Get the Ishime Aogami Super Mortake because it's fantastic. There you go. And get the Kumo with the fancy handle and use it as a utility knife as well. So here's the scratch and dent Nakiri Mabaroshi. It's been resharpened. I don't know the history of this knife. I don't think this was a sample knife. But it's got a good rocker to it now, if that's what you're looking for. And I love things like this. I love this black bit here where he's just left some of the Karochi on it. Every knife of Fujiwara's is unique, right? Because he hand hammers the bolster and they make the handle unique to every blade. Some of them you'll see are really thin through here or fatter. They all have a different shape, but they all feel great. And that finger notch there, if you ever think that that's interesting, it's going to get in your soul and you won't be happy until you own one of these with that little finger notch. And it's just for holding the knife the way a chef does, like this. So you just use that little finger notch to choke up on the blade. Boom. Next one, Nathan, more questions.
Yeah, so Steve J is asking, can I please see the Musashi 270? I'm not sure what Musashi is looking for.
Steve J is looking for this one.
Maybe don't. Maybe this one.
It says 270. I think he's looking to retire sample 270, and he wants to see the mirror Nakiri as well.
All right, Steve J. I believe you're the same Steve J that sent me some passionate messages on Instagram today. Here is your mirror polished. Oh, you got a polishing cloth around here, guys? I can use my shirt, I suppose. These, this one's a retired sample, Naoto. Is that what this is? All right. So this is a retired sample. It has got, unfortunately, it's a mirror polish, but it's got 2 little scratches up here, which is a bummer. But that's why it's half price. So there you go. So again, it's that cool Musashi shaped handle, whereas the top looks like an octagon, but the bottom's an oval. Mirror polished again, like I said, I love, but we some people don't, and I don't know why. I think because they're just crazy, clearly. Naoto spent an hour working on this, trying to get some of these little scratches up, but he can't, so we put them on for half price. So there you go. There's a half price Yanagiba there from Musashi-san, and I've got a 210 Gyuto from this line, and I bloody love it. Let me tell you, it is, well, it's Musashi, right? The knives are sharp, they're rugged, they stay sharp a long time, and they look beautiful. His fit and finish is top notch. Questions, Nathan?
Brian Crooker's a good question. Oh, sorry, did you show up both of them?
Oh, what was the other? Oh, the mirrored Nakiri. Ooh, you know what? I've got the mirrored. Yeah, I've got the 270. No, I got a 300 Gyuto of this, actually. I just pulled it out. My knives I have at home, I've got a lot of knives, so I don't have all of them out in the kitchen at all times. So kind of every few months I dig through the box, pull out knives that excite me again, and put away and store some of them. And I just took the 300 of this out. So this is a mirrored, but like it's been used, right? So it's got some scratches on it. It's not perfect, but that's why it's 35% off. This one's half price as well, so there you go. So it's a maple handle with white horn, water buffalo horn collar there. And it's a mirrored knife. Can you see me in the mirror? Hi. There you go. That's for our friend Steve, who sent me a very passionate email today, or a passionate message on Instagram about knives. Nathan, hit me up with some questions.
Yeah, man. Any focus?
Somebody's asked for bunkas. I don't know what you want in a bunka, but I'm going to grab a few here that I think are super cool, and then we'll just show you some bunkas from all over the board. So a bunka is essentially a Santoku, but with a different kind of, it's got, see, whereas this is the Santoku shape here, that's a Santoku shape, that's a bunka shape. So it's similar, but a little bit more badass looking. So I'm gonna collect some bunkas here. I picked this one up, but I don't know where the box is, Nathan, and it's one of the special ones. So now I'm really making troubles. Yeah, but I don't know where the box is. Some of it is an empty bunka box. All right, we're gonna go bunkarama here, because there's a lot of bunkas here. We have got from Kurosaki, this is the Sasame line he makes for us. This is the Cobalt Steel. What I love about this steel, it's stainless and it seems super stable. We don't fix a lot of chips on these, which is great because they're a really thin knife, so they're really not that rugged, but that steel seems a lot more strong. I love this pink handle. If you've been watching any of the things we do, or any videos I do, you'll know that pink handle knives are pretty much my favorite. And this one's wild. I wish, Naoto, when you get another pink handle like this, don't go throw it on something, you just call me. Because I've got some knives at home that need a wild pink handle like this. There's a bunka Cobalt from Kurosaki, $3.99 with that funky handle. Here's another Kurosaki with a turquoise handle. It's Algami Super, clad with stainless steel. It's $7.33. Look at that. This is called Raijin. No, this is Fujin. So Fujin refers to wind, correct, Naoto? The god of wind. And Raijin is the god of raining and storms, I believe. Or is it Raijin? What's Raijin?
Raijin is got a thunder or the lightning.
Thunder, okay, thunder and lightning. So Fujin is the god of wind. So this is about wind. If you look at it, you can see it's a super windy blade. But look at this turquoise handle, and look at the shape of it, man. Beautiful. It's got that big hook on it, but also look at the profile of it, where it gets narrow, fat, and narrow again. That is a beautiful handle. Kurosaki has always made brilliant handles. He went and worked for Saji for a while to learn to make handles. He's always made great handles, and I think they're getting better and better and better. Like this one feels, and the funniest thing is because I've got one of these at home, and I think it feels great in my hand. And my wife, who's considerably smaller and has not huge mitt hands like mine, also thinks it feels fantastic. So there you go. Here's another bunka. This one's Kato-san SG2 Damascus. Look at that. It's got an ironwood handle. It's $756 for that bunka. I have got the 240 of this knife at home. Love it. $365 for this one. The same knife, just with a Japanese handle. There you go. Boom. We got the Zuin SG2 powder steel again, $344. And that's sexy. I've got a petty of this at home, and I love it. And look at the shape of this handle. What is the name of a seven-sided object, guys? It's heptagon. So it's a heptagonal handle. Look at that. And it's got that angle at the back too. Just a cool handle. Big fan of that. More bunkas. Look at this bunka here. And this one's free, but I know it's not free because this bunka is from Miyazaki. Now, Miyazaki-san, he is in Noto. Miyazaki learned in Fukuoka, and he is still in Fukuoka?
He's in Nagasaki.
He's in Nagasaki now. Oh, we have to go. Okay. Naoto met Miyazaki in February when he left. I was supposed to go meet him in April when I was supposed to go, but something happened and I wasn't allowed to fly anymore. But this is his banka. It's also called Hakata style. Hakata is the old name for Fukuoka. And by the way, that's the town that brings us tonkatsu ramen, so my favorite kind of ramen. And this knife is made in the old style where they use wrought iron on the outside. Do you reckon it's a chain or anchor? Because that's often the material they'll use is chain or anchor. But this is the Hakata style, so it's a little bit more weight to the front. It's got that bunka shape. That is a cool, cool knife. It is $670. It's the old style of making knives that he does. Super romantic. Okay, let me tell you something about the garage sale. It happens twice a year. Me and the staff were not allowed to buy anything until after the first Monday because we don't want to be grabbing all the good stuff for ourselves. So I also have to wait, and I'm very good. I don't break the rules. I did once last year. There was a pink-handled Takeda hunting knife, and I stole that before it got to the sale. But I see another one this year that I want. Anyway, this Miyazaki knife. How many of these did we get now, Joe? I think we've only got 3. And it's got an white oak handle. So if you've been to the new library in Calgary, you'll see all the floors and all the walls are made out of white oak like this. Beautiful. This is the knife that I want Tuesday morning if it still exists after the first day of the sale. I'm excited by that a lot. Nathan, hit me up with questions. Dr. G looking for Kobunkas. I've got 2 here. One is the Kobunka from Anrisan. Algami Super, stainless on the outside. So my favorite way to build a knife, $221 from Anrisan, who is in the process right now of retiring. He's in the process of handing over the reins to everything to Ikeda-san. So that's his Kobunka there, $221. And this Kobunka here is old Sakai for $296. What is the steel in this one? Well, this is Ginsan. Yeah. Oh, hey. So Ginsan steel is, here, Nathan, put that sticker on. Ginsan steel is, who makes Ginsan? Hitachi? It's Hitachi Steel's answer to VG10, right? But I think Ginsan's more interesting than VG. I think VG10 is fantastic steel. It was a steel that was invented for knife making. Makes great stainless steel, long-lived edge, right? Great stable hand or knife steel. Ginsan, I think, is a little bit more stable. I think Ginsan is less likely to chip. Big fan of Ginsan. And this little petty here from Sakai Ul. Or is it Ul Sakai? Ul Sakai. The little petty is, what did you say it was now, Nathan? $296. So there you go. There's a couple of Kobunkas for you. Mike, I'm just going to put them back here. Questions? I'm going to drink beer while I wait.
Yeah. We got a broad one from John May. Anything Shibata?
John May is asking, is there any knives from Shibata-san? If you're referring to Tinker, there is none in the garage sale. We have Kotetsu from him all the time. Of course, Shibata-san is Kotetsu knives, Tinker knives, Masakagi knives. But you know what? I'll give you a little secret too. Anything from us that comes from Kurosaki, for example, is sharpened by Shibata-san. In fact, Shibata-san is probably doing the engraving on these, sharpening them, and for sure he's putting handles on as well. So anything from Kurosaki in our hands has been through Shibata-san's hands, and he's resharpened them. Don't talk Kurosaki. What else? Anything from Anrisan that we've got has been through Shibata-san and resharpened. Anything from Kobayashi, resharpened by Shibata-san. He's really fussy, and he's got a technique that not a lot of people can do. He has a technique where he sharpens the knives with a coarse stone on one side and a finer stone on the other. And what that does is it makes stainless steel knives feel like carbon steel knives. If we back things up, if we talk about knife steels, there's stainless and carbon. That's the simplest way to divide them up. Stainless is great because it won't rust. Carbon's great because it'll stay sharp longer, easier to keep an edge, and easier to sharpen, right? It's just smoother cutting always. But it's always smooth cutting with a bit of a bite. So when you're cutting a tomato, it blasts through that, but it also cuts sashimi really nice too. Stainless steel usually gets really, really smooth or is a little bit rough. The way Shibata-san does it, he makes stainless steel feel like carbon steel when you're sharp or when you're cutting with it. Such a good skill, such a cool thing to do. So I'm a big fan of Shibata-san for that. All right, we are got some Chinese cleavers here. Somebody's asked about Chinese cleavers, and I've been given all of these, and these are Chinese cleavers from. Oh, this is the Tojiro one. Okay, great. So we just got this one from Tojiro. It's $73. So if you want to get into Chinese cleavers, this is the one for you. This is still a vegetable cleaver, though. I wouldn't blast through duck bones or anything with this. This is, they come in different thicknesses, right? And the fatter ones are like for chopping through duck bones, and the thinner ones are for cutting cabbages. This is on the thinner end. I wouldn't do any heavy bone work with this, but certainly if you want to get into cleavers, this is a great way to go. It's $73 from Tojiro. This is Sakai Takiyuki here, $220. Really traditional because it's got the short handle. So the way I hold a cleaver is I choke up with 2 fingers like that, or 1. Bum, 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 bum. Again, a more thin, so it's a more vegetable. You wouldn't want to cut duck bones with this for sure, but maybe small squirrels. I wouldn't be afraid of that. Fun way to get in for $230. And then we've got these ones from Sugimoto. I do like the handle on these too. So these ones from Sugimoto are free. No, they are not. They're $367 for the little guy here, which is, I don't know how long this guy is. Do I have a ruler?
195.
So that's 195 millimeter. And it's $367. Naoto's going to talk to me about these because I didn't actually buy these. Again, like I said, I buy most of the stuff for the garage sale, but Naoto's been helping me buy some of the stuff, especially this year. So we've been we've been traveling to Japan on Zoom, essentially. But Naoto did get a trip in February that I didn't go on, and because my trip in April got canceled, so I haven't been to Japan for a year because of this COVID thing. And Sugimoto in Tokyo makes these. This one's $667. And Naoto, whisper in my ear some exciting stuff about these knives because I don't know much about Sugimoto. They're in Tokyo, I know that. They used to be right by the Tsukiji fish market. They used to have a shop right there.
They're still there, the Tsukiji Sugimoto. They're very famous for their Chinese cleavers, especially well-made handles like those ones.
So Naoto says they're really famous for these cleavers and this style of handle too. I like the handle. Like it's got the steel here, so you're not going to bust up the wood there, and it's got a good grip on it too, like that. It's simple, but it gives you a good grip there. And I like the shape of the handles too with those. So there you go. You want to get into single bevels? We got you covered. Or not single bevels, sorry. If you want to get into Chinese cleavers, we got you covered.
Someone wants to do a cleaver type.
If you want to see a bone cleaver, like more of a European cleaver type, boom, we got these bad boys. Very fat from Sakai Takiyuki, and it is $192. And this is, how big is that? 160? 180? 180 millimeter in length. There we go. And just heavy. So very European style cleaver. It's got the hole so you can hang it from a hook. By the way, I'm wearing my buddy Acme Meat shirt. Corey in Edmonton owns Acme Meats. He actually owns one of these. He owns actually too many knives, but he has one of these, and you'll find it hanging from one of the meat hooks in his butcher shop often. So there you go. There's one of the European kind of bone cleavers. And if you wanted to cut through ducks and chicken bones with this, this is your bad boy. Not pig, lamb, and cow bones though. Use a saw for those, or else you just dent your knife, and then you look foolish and feel sad. So don't do that. Nathan, hit me up with some questions.
Yeah, Ryan Kirk wants to see some sexy Suzuki. These aren't also Suzuki, but I grabbed some nice stuff. I figured that was
Naoto, you know about this Sujihiki. So I've grabbed some sexy Sujihikis here. We've got somebody asking about sexy Sujihikis, and here we go. I always think that a Tsujihiki or a carving knife, you should go for the sexy one anyway. Because often when you're slicing that roast beef or slicing a turkey, the sexy one is what you want because everybody's watching you. So we got this one here, R2 powdered steel from Saji-san with the ironwood handle. I like the little mosaic pin. Can we get a few of that? Here we go. You can see that. Nathan, when we do the live on Monday, do we have a light we can bring in?
Yep.
Good. We'll get one of those halo lights. So there from Saji, again, that beautiful handle where it gets thin, fat, thin. I love this handle. His ironwood handles are fantastic. And that knife doesn't have a price tag, so it must be free. So that's great, a great price. 270 millimeter free Tsujihiki from Saji. So order it now. Order it now before Nathan finds a price for it.
Too late. You missed your chance.
Oh, you missed your chance. It's marked now. The price is $969, which is a more reasonable price for that knife. Free was far too cheap. Here, another Tsujihiki. This is the R2 powdered steel Damascus from Zuin. I love the tip on these, and look at the shape of that handle again. Man, I'm such a fan of that. I like how it feels. It's $398. We've got a Algami Super Tsujihiki. This one is 240 millimeters from Moritaka. It's got the walnut handle with the black Takawood collar. Algami Super. This is the Moritaka family who's been making knives for what now, 722 years? Outstanding, amazing. Yes, a couple days, Mike. They've been making knives for a couple of days, like 700 and some years. And here is my Tsujihiki, which is actually Yanagiba, but this is my pick for the sexiest slicer of this show, of this garage sale. Nathan, do you have any idea how many we have of this? So this is Musashi. This is a Musashi Yanagiba. So you see, single bevel Yanagiba, but it's got the Sakamoto tip. So it's got the sword tip on it like that. This is his Kuroshi. It's textured Damascus steel, white carbon Yanagiba, because if you made it out of SLD like he normally does on this line, it'd be really weird to polish and it wouldn't, really weird to sharpen. It wouldn't slice raw fish quite as well as white carbon steel does. And white carbon steel is super easy to resharpen too. This knife, the first time I saw this knife, Musashi made a 270 as a present for Naoto when he got married last year. But these are 300s. And we've got, how many of these 300s do we have, Naoto? I'm holding the one we have. It's 300 millimeters. It's 1,105 small dollars. Oh, we have one. I think there's a 270 in Ottawa still in there. So we've got a couple of 270s and one 300. So there you go. If you want these, if you want any of these really special one of a kinds at the garage sale, make sure that you just go right at 10 o'clock Eastern time on Monday. Go to the limited edition knife you want, press the button, put it in your cart, and go pay for it right away. Make 2 or 3 different invoices if you are after specific things, because the first person to pay for it gets it, right? So it doesn't matter if it's in your cart. So if I put it in my cart, but Mike pays for it before I do, Mike's the one that gets it. It's just the way the system works in our on our website. And that's it, right? So be the first, if it's one of a kind like that Musashi, be the first, get it in there, and then run like 2 or 3, like do 2 or 3 invoices. Make sure that you get the ones you want.
Ready for another one?
Nathan, hit me up with some questions, man.
Don't mix them up each time.
Okay, we've got.
Wondering about sexy
All right. Somebody wants to see some sexy Kato and Anru knives. Here is a collection of beautiful handle Kato SG2 Damascus steel. Look at that green. Oh, I love these one-of-a-kind handles from our buddy Dustin. So we got that. We've got, that was 417. This is 527. So Masakagi Kumo from Anusan with a nice brown two-tone handle. $527. That's the 210 Kumo. This is a one, no, this is a Santoku. And look at this. This handle matches a handle I have on one of my knives back home. So there you go. I've got the same handle on, it's a Kobayashi. In fact, mine is this knife here. So I've got this knife, SG2 powdered steel Yuto there with this handle on it. So we could be like knife twins. So that's the Santoku, and the Santoku is 417. And he wanted something from Kato as well. Well, those are from Andrew-san. Here's from Kato-san. It's a Masakagi Kiri Bunka. But look at that wild handle. Woo! And that is $359. And right here we have an ironwood handle SG2 Kato hand hammered Bunka. It's an ironwood handle. Look at that shape of the ironwood handle. Obviously, Kurosaki's helped him or shown him how to make that handle. There we go. And that one's $756. Those are all one of a kinds. So I hope those were some sexy Kato and Anderson knives for you. Nathan, hit me up with some questions.
Yeah, so just real quick, why don't we go over kind of people on the garage sale once I can start?
Okay, well, here we go. It's actually got hot in here all of a sudden. That light's throwing some heat, I guess. All right, now I'm going to strip down here. We're going to get serious. Da-da-da-da. So we're going to get serious and talk about what the garage sale is. The garage sale is, every year I go to Japan 2 or 3 times. I buy a lot of one-of-a-kind knives. I buy blacksmith samples or experiments. I buy knives from new blacksmiths if we are thinking of carrying them in the shop. I buy overstock items, sometimes mistakes. I remember one year Tojiro made that mistake where they put one name on the blade and a different name on the box and put them together, but it was in Japanese, so it didn't really matter. I remember those were great knives because they were, I think we sold them for $60, but in Japan they retailed for about 100. So there you go. So we get stuff like that. And then we've also got some scratch and dent stuff. So knives that we've rehandled through the year because maybe that didn't have maybe the handle we didn't like because it was too rough, or maybe it was a sample knife from the shop. So we've got some of those too that we sell off for a deal at the garage sale. Everything's priced to go. It happens twice a year. The garage sale starts on Monday this week. So Monday, November 16, right at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Ellie will flip the big red switch that turns the garage sale on. Most of the garage sale is going to be online this year. We have this whole COVID thing going on, and we can't have the crowds in our shops like we normally do. So we're going to have most of the things online this year, and there's going to be a little bit in all the shops. And what else do I need to say about the garage sale? It's my favorite time because I get to see all kinds of weird stuff that we don't normally have. It's kind of like record store day, right? Where you get a whole bunch of rare or new releases or whatever that are just released just for that day. A lot of them are limited. A lot of them are one of a kind. Like here, for example, I've got this Takeda folding knife. You know, when Takeda-san makes folding knives, they're all one of a kind. He makes each blade individually. They're all a different shape. The handle's all different. This is a pink one. I don't have a pink Takeda folder yet. I like pink knives. This one is really high on my list of knives I want. Me and the staff are not allowed to buy any knives until after the first Monday of the sale. So we've got our favorites. There's some things that I know that are going to be gone before I get a chance to lay my hands on, which is a bummer. But this is one of them that I would like. These folders, I think, are $499 for unique, one-of-a-kind folders from Takeda-san. So that's the sort of things we have at the garage sale. And like I said, Mike and I, that's the other thing too, Mike Naoto and probably Nathan and I are going to do a live event on Monday. So we're gonna start about 10 to 10 on Monday morning Eastern time, and we're gonna do a live event just like this, where we can help you pick out the knife. You're gonna shout out a knife. We're gonna hold it up and show it for you, give you a nice close-up view. We're gonna get the light dialed in so it's perfect here, so you can really see the knife and really get an understanding of how heavy it is, how long it is. We'll have a scale here, like a drug dealer scale, so we can tell you how many grams the knife weighs, if that's important to you, and we'll have tape measures and we tell you how long it is. And I think we'll even go live to some of the other shops. Mike, why don't I bring my guitar? We'll play really badly for people.
Oh, okay. That sounds like fun.
Okay, I'm gonna bring my little guitar.
It's about us helping people who can't come into the store.
Yeah.
There's not much in the store this year.
Yeah, there's not as much in the store as usual. We can't have as many people. You usually know, like at the beginning on the first Monday in the Calgary store, there's 40 people in the shop for most of the day. We just can't do that anymore. I think we're allowed 6 in our store because it's just small stores, right? So most of the knives are going to be online. They're going to be here in the warehouse where I can hold them up and you can see everything, right? And you have a chance to ask us questions just like you do now. How big is it? How long is it? Show me this, show me that, tell me about it, whatever. Ask your questions live. We'll answer them as fast and as best we can. And it's all about us trying to find you the best knife possible for you. So that's what we want to do. We want to find you the best knife possible.
Okay, so we got a bit of a backlog here, so we're gonna.
And we've got a lot of questions right now, because I've been taking my time and I haven't been going fast. So now we're in the speed run. Nathan is going to throw questions at me. I'm going to talk as fast as I go, fast as I can. He's going to throw questions at me.
We're gonna do a twofer. We got Soul Ted saying any cool pennies, I have small hands. And then we got Mike Manuel saying, are there any awesome unique pennies in the garage sale?
All right, so we're looking for petties in the garage sale, and here we've got 4 in front of us. This is Makoto Kurosaki, so it's Yu Kurosaki's brother. He makes these Miyazaki polished knives with the white, and I don't know what the material on this handle is. It's cherry. Oh, it's cherry. Cherry looks so different with the white collar. So it's a cherry and white pack of wood. It's SG2 powder steel. It's $202 from Makoto Kurosaki, so Yu Kurosaki's brother. We've got this guy here. Have a look. This is a Nishiji petty from, I don't know who, Noto. Oh, Tsunehisa, of course. This is stupid. This is a knife we always have for garage sale. It's origami steel, clad with stainless, and hand hammered Tsunehisa knife. I like this bolster at the angle. So that's, I don't know, 152 or 252. I think it's 152. Oh, Buho or Murata. The first handmade knife I bought back in 1999 was a 180 Yuto from Murata-san, or Buho, and it's his stage name. That's what he signs on his blades. So this is blue carbon steel number 1 blue steel, and clad with iron, so you got to worry about the whole blade rusting. This is the last. He has stopped making Western handle knives. He's about getting ready to retire. He's only making Japanese handle knives. So this one here is the last of the breed, and we have a few of these petties left. They're 157. This is the first handmade knife I bought. This is what got us into starting Knifewear. This is what's brought me here. I am for sure having one of these because I've already got, I think, the whole set from him that he makes without having this little guy. So I want that. And this one here, look at this. Check it out. And this is Sakai Kikimori. And that means it is white carbon steel.
White carbon number 2.
White carbon number 2. And it's carbon steel clad. It's got this octagon handle. I like this little petty. You can't tell, I don't think, but the finish looks and feels like an Apple laptop. So it's got that Apple laptop texture. It's the Apple laptop texture. So there we go. And this one's free. Nathan gave me a knife that doesn't have a price tag, which is great. So right now, The 120 millimeter Sakai Kikimori Petty is currently free. So order it now until it's $334. See, now Nathan's put a price on it, so we can't go. Okay, Nathan, I'm supposed to be in the speed round.
Yeah, man.
Hit me up with questions, man.
Emily, wondering if we have any more Monaco knives.
Oh, Emily, you like Monaco? I like Monaco. I've got the ATS 30 210 Yuto at my house, which is the Yuto version of this guy. Look at the texture on the blade. This is ATS 30 stainless steel. Monaco-san's knives are really interesting because he forges them, the spine, and then they get fat, and then they get narrow. He thinks that if you make them in the shape of a triangle, or sorry, the shape of a diamond, they're really rugged. And I tell you what, mine's rugged as anything. The only problem I have with this knife is it doesn't sit flat on my knife magnet in my kitchen. It always turns sideways. The carbon steel version doesn't do that. This is Shirogami 2. And this one here from Monaco-san doesn't. It sticks on the magnet better. But I really like the ATS 30s. So that's the ones I've got. So there we got some knives from Monaco-san. Nathan, hit me up with a question. Munatoshi. Well, they're white carbon steel, number 2. This is $258 for the 240. No, this is 240. So this is the like a, well, it's a Miyazaki finish, but it's almost an Nishiji. It's got, I don't know if you can see that. Nathan, can we turn this light off? This light is not helping. In fact, it's making it worse. Yeah. So no, I think that's better in ways, but worse in ways. We're going to figure out this lighting for next day, for Monday for sure. But there you go. This is the Miyazaki ones. There is the 240 for 258 and 205 for the Santoku. I love the shape of that Santoku. I like how it's so blunt at the front. I think that's a really cool shape. It's reminiscent of Miyazaki. It's a very Sanjo shape, that. And I'm a fan. There we go. Nathan.
Phil Cormier.
Whoa, Phil Cormier wants to see this knife exactly. SG2 powder steel, black Damascus. So he's etched this Damascus to make that cool black color. This is from Kato-san. It's a rosewood and red paca collar. It's $395. If you have a knife from Kato-san, you know they're wicked. If you don't, grab one. You're gonna love it. I have the 210 of this. No, I have the 240. I have a 240 of this, and such a fan. Love this knife at my house. Super thin, super light, cuts like a dream. So I hope that was enough for you. If you want to see other angles of that, let me know. I guess you can see the butt of the handle there and the blade again. Nathan, you've walked away. That's Nathan behind me. Wave, Nathan. He's the one shouting me speed questions. More speed questions, Nathan.
Yeah, second kind of figure, do it. Are the edges all down? I think they're referring to the edges on the handle.
The edges on the handle, well, let's see. This is the Zuin that you're asking about, the R2 powder steel Damascus. And you're asking if the edges are beveled. So I think you mean the edges on the handle, maybe? They're actually quite sharp. You're not going to cut yourself. It's not a knife, but they're quite sharp. And I like how it feels in my hand because it feels like I'm really secure, like I can really, like it's not going anywhere when I hold it. Speed round question.
Yep.
You're not keeping up your end of the speed round, Nathan. You got to be speedier.
I know, we got a lot of questions. Do all the Moritaka AS Karochi Hanasuki have Nishiji?
No. The only Nishiji, or the only Ishime finish AS Hanasuki, or Moritaka knife is the Hanasuki. That is the only Ishime finish. The rest are that nice flat black finish that they do. They use water jet right at the end when they're hammering it to make sure it doesn't get scaly like the Takeda knives do. And they just that flat black finish. Question.
Yeah, somebody's asking about Kosuke Nishiji.
I don't think.
I was looking for other shapes, but I could find.
So somebody's asking about the Sakai Kikimori Nishiji Nakiri. Want to see the whale knife again? Ha ha! I'll make it swim. So this one is, I don't know if this is a humpback or a pilot or a minke whale, but it's that kind of shape, like a baleen whale. And it's 67 bucks. And we have sperm whales as well, and I think there's 4 shapes in total. Nathan, I'm going to point to you, and you can just fire me more questions. All right, well, here's a Monaco knife. Let's see if we can see how it's diamond shaped. It's hard to see it, but you can feel it. So it goes thin to fat, then thin down the bevel. So there you go. That's the Monaco knife with that diamond shape, that diamond profile. Here, this knife has been thrust in front of me. It's an Algami 2 with stainless clad. And it is 275, and it's a, what is it, 150 millimeter petty. So there you go. Octagon handle. Cool finish on that knife. Nathan, questions?
Yeah, so no, you got that knife right? You got that Suba? James Wang wants to look at the Joy Suba.
I want to look at the Doi Suba. So here's the big deal. Tojiro Doi was a really Keijiro. I'm getting corrected by Naoto, and I'm glad I do. Naoto, it's good that you correct me. Tojiro Doi. He is, Naoto, it's okay. Tojiro Doi was a famous blacksmith in Sakai. He passed a few years ago. I was lucky enough to meet him about 12 years ago. And I had a photo with him. And every time I showed another blacksmith a photo with Doi-san, they would go, wow, you know Doi-san. So he was really respected in the community as a knife forger, like hammering, right, for his hot hammering techniques. And we have managed to get, it's 2 or 3 now, so it's 2, isn't it? We've managed to get 2 165 millimeter Usuba. Now we carry knives from his son, Itsuo Doi. So this is Tojiro Doi. This is the father that's so famous. The blade, Naoto, it says Doi-san, right? It says Keijiro Doi on the blade. Also, if you ever take it apart, he's signed the handle. This isn't his signature, but his signature is actually inside on the tang, just like you'd find on a sword. We've got 2 of these only. We were super lucky to get them, like super lucky to get them. If one of these is left on Tuesday, I'm having it. These don't exist anymore. So Tojiro Doi, Usuba, big deal, big deal. Want one of these.
Another big deal. Gary J wants to see the 210 Hinura.
So this is Hinura-san from Sanjo. This is his new line of knives. This is the 210 Gyuto. I do not have a Hinura-san knife yet. I have a record I'm sending to Hinura-san on Monday. He's a big jazz fan. He's just built a new sharpening room in his studio, and he's got this really great old turntable with some JBL speakers and a tube amp that I don't know what it is, but he says it's 300 watts, and it makes beautiful jazz recordings sound amazing. So he's built a sharpening room just to listen to jazz records. So I got him a Oscar Peterson record because Oscar Peterson, famous Canadian jazz pianist. So I thought he would like that. But there it is. Is that enough views of the knife for you? Ooh. Maybe Nathan's going to throw some more speed questions at me.
Yeah, I got one from Sean Buckle, who's been
Hey, Sean Buckle.
hanging out for an hour and a half. So
Oh my God, I've been talking for an hour and a half.
thanks to everyone that's been hanging out for an hour and a half.
I'm sorry that I talked for an hour and a half. Oh dear.
Tough question, but he's looking. Well, he thinks it's a tough question. I think it's a great question. stainless or semi-stainless Gyuto. For a good but idiot-proof Gyuto, check out the Musashi SLD or the Makoto Kurosaki.
Oh, dude. Okay, so our friend Sean's looking for it. He said an idiot-proof stainless Gyuto, and I guess the options are the Kobayashi R2 240 and the Makoto R2 240. So, and the Musashi SLD. Which one's idiot proof and which one is probably going to put up with more abuse and like treating it a bit rougher? Both of these are very thin and very lit knives. If you're looking for one to put through its paces, get the Musashi. Musashi makes rugged. Well, listen, don't cut a car in half, but Musashi makes beautiful. This is the which one's this? This is Shiroshu. Oh, I'm tired. I've been talking for an hour and a half about knives. This is the Shiroshu. We've got overstock on the 240 Gyutos or the Katsuki, if you want to call them that, and overstock on the Tsujihikis as well.
Regular 721.
So regular, this knife is 721, 15.
15% off.
And it's 15% off, which is what? That's over $100 off, yeah. So it'll be.
Yeah, that would be.
Naoto's doing the math for us.
Yeah, 612.
So a 612 down from 750, you said?
720.
So 612 for these. We just have a overstock of these, and we need to shift some of them. So there you go. But I think, I think the one he's talking about is the mirrored SLD 240. I don't know if we have one of those to show, but here's the thing: if you're looking for a bit of a rugged 240, get that one. Get the Musashi. It's more rugged than the Makoto Kurosaki or the Kobayashi. So yeah, get that one. Nathan.
Sean's got another one. He asked a couple in a row. Sakai Gyuto. He's wondering if it was in their photographer Mason. It's not.
Sakai is these guys here. Which Gyuto?
He just said Gyuto. So we're gonna shut up. Yeah.
So here's Sakai Megaki Gyuto. See if I can get that finish on there. You can see right here. It's stainless clad.
Forged in Sakai.
Yes, hand forged in Sakai. Stainless cladding on white carbon steel. Number one. So the same steel that Fujiwara-san uses. And I love this Megaki finish because you can see diagonal lines in the finish, and I think it looks really classy. And I like this handle. It's a water buffalo horn and magnolia octagon handle, and a little bit thicker along the spine. Like this is a knife that you could do some serious work with too. And I'm not saying you're going to cut a car in half, right? That's stupid, but you could certainly, I think, as a chef, take this to work and give it its workout. So that's $510. That's the old Sakai. Oh, some people are asking about Santokus. We have some Santokus, probably the most popular knife in Japan. So we have Kobayashi SG2 Damascus. We've got that one there for $462. We've got this Kumo with a wild matching handle to my Kobayashi knife. I've got a fancy handle from Dustin on there like that. So these are all one-of-a-kind handles, and it makes this Kumo a one-of-a-kind. That's $417 for that Santoku. Here's a Moritaka Aogami Super, so super blue steel, where those other Santokus could rust. This one, couldn't rust. Those were stainless steel. This knife can rust, so just use it, wash it, dry it. Don't leave it wet, that sort of thing. This is from the Moritaka family, who's been making knives for 720 years. They've been making knives since 1293, which is insane. Actually, getting on almost 730 years now. We have Santoku here from, this is called a Senko from Kurosaki-san. This is his new Zuchime pattern. It looks like fireworks, I think. Love the texture on that blade. And I love this reverse handle. We got the dark wood here and the light wood collar. Usually it's a light wood handle with the dark wood collar. $292 for Kurosaki Santoku. So there's some Santokus. I hope you saw something fun there. If you have a specific one you want to see, let us know. Question, Nathan.
Crimson 3000, Takeda folding knives, please. Boy, oh boy.
Oh my goodness, somebody's asking for Takeda folding knives. We have a lot of Takeda. I love Takeda Sans knives. I love Takeda's folding knives. I got a big box of them here. They're all one of a kind, and he's doing these stabilized wood handles and some other wood handles, some other handles too, like this one, for example. But I don't have a price on these, Nathan. So this one here, this knife actually took 40,000 years to make because that is mammoth ivory. So this is a mammoth tusk. And I believe that's the tusk here, and I believe that's the tooth, but I might be wrong. But this is mammoth. And it's a folding Takeda Higo style knife. So when it's open, it's in the lock position because you put your thumb on that little nub there. All of Takeda Sans folders, when he makes them, they're unique. The blade shape is one of a kind, and the handles are one of a kind.
$995.
And this one is $995 for the mammoth. There's a few mammoth in here. Here's another mammoth one. I really like this one. But there's a pink one in here, and I really want. There's a couple of pink ones. So let's see what else we have. We have this one, paddock wood. I think these are all $495, right? Just the wood ones?
$545.
Oh, they're $545, sorry. So there you go. Paddock wood folder. Look at that tiny little blade on that one. They're all unique. Now we're going to get into some pink ones because I like pink handle knives. Woo! Oh, I like the shape of that blade too. Really skinny one. So there we go. $545. Who wanted these? Who wanted to see the Takeda folding? Right. If you wanted to see a specific color, let us know. So there's these guys here. I, for sure, am taking home at the end of the first day of our sale Monday, the end of Monday, I'm for sure taking home a Takeda folding knife. I really, really want a pink one. Really want a pink one. That's box elder, stabilized wood. This is interesting. This is imitation staghorn. So I'm guessing that's some kind of plastic, but it looks like staghorn. There you go. That's imitation staghorn. I don't know why they would use that. Naoto, tell me why they want to use imitation staghorn. Naoto doesn't have an answer for me. Oh, what's this black one? It doesn't say. Nathan, can you dig up what this black one is? It looks like it's another horn of some sort. So this is black.
Water buffalo.
Well, it is water buffalo. Okay. So like the collar on a lot of our blades, it's water buffalo. So there you go, water buffalo folding knife from Takeda San. Oh, I like that one a lot. I like the black horn. All right, Nathan, was there?
Yeah, lots more.
Lots more questions. Just keep firing questions, Nathan. When I finish one, hit me with another one.
Rob GD is asking about Sakamara.
All right, Rob's looking for Sakamara shape knives. What is this little guy for? I love it. It's really narrow. It's a really narrow and short Yanagiba. Like this would be great for fugu, the puffer fish. So I don't know why it's so small, but I would just love to slice with that. So it's Agami 1, $524. There, that's Sakamaro. There's the big boy, $858. Again, a very slender Sakamaro Yanagiba. This one here, these are both Sakai Kikimori, if I believe. Yeah, they are. Both of these are Sakai Kikimori. This is the 300 mil, that one. And the bell of the ball for Sakamaru shaped Yanagibas. We have got one 300 mil from Musashi-san. Look at that. And that is the charred chestnut and water buffalo handle. That's one of my favorite handles. I love the light color here. I love the char. I love the feel of it. I like how it feels grippy in my hand. And this is textured Damascus. This is agami. No, sorry, not agami. It's shirogami steel, so white carbon steel. And that's from Musashi-san. That one's $1,105. There's some Sakamaru Yanagibas for you. Nathan, question.
Yeah, John Leon is wondering about.
Oh, John, hey.
He's been streaming on Twitch.
Yeah, John's been doing some interesting stuff.
He's wondering about Hanasuki's.
John's wondering about Hanasuki's. Wow. Here's a couple. Here's the Moritaka AS Ishime. There's one in the world. This one will be gone within minutes. So if you're interested in that one, which I think is one of the best Hanasuki's in the world, give her. Here's another one-of-a-kind Hanasuki. One-of-a-kind handle, and it's a Kumo, Masakagi Kumo. This one's $425, $4 1/4. So there's another Hanasuki there for you, John. Nathan, question.
Yeah, any Mabaroshi for sale besides the scratched and Ishiri?
Well, Mabaroshis aren't for sale on the garage sale so much because they're normal items. The garage sale, think of it more like record store day, where it's rare and weird and strange and unusual stuff. So Naoto and I go and buy a lot of things that are unusual. And since we carry Mabaroshi normally, there's no Mabaroshi in the garage sale this year. Sometimes we get them in strange handles, sometimes, but we didn't this time. Sorry, guys. Question, Nathan.
Yeah, so we're looking for Simon Clifton's wondering about carbon steel's over a 6364 hardness. These are about as close as I get to being carbon that 64.
White carbon number 1.
So Simon's looking for a white carbon.
He's looking for a carbon steel that's over 6364.
Over 63 Rockwell.
Which sounds like a Denko.
Well, I was gonna say we have some. We've got some Agami Super stuff.
Well, the white number 1 is hard.
This white number 1 is that hard now, too?
Yeah, white number 1 gets the 63.
White number 1 can get to 63 hardness. Oh my God. So this is Sakai. There you go, $510. What I love about this kind of grind is that every time you sharpen it, you'll be thinning the edge as well, because you'll sharpen this whole bevel here. And every time you sharpen it, so it'll always feel exactly the same as the first time you used it. So there we go. We've got an AS Gyuto in my hands here. This is from Yoshimi Kato. It's Agami Super, clad with stainless, $310. I love this reverse handle. We got the white here and the dark on the handle instead of the light handle with the dark. So we got that one. So I hope that is the sort of things you're looking for, man. Nathan.
Yeah, AJ is wondering how many ever Agami Super Gyutos are for sale, which is sadly none.
Well, I hear you're asking for, sorry, what was it again?
Enter Agami Super Gyuto.
Andrew, Agami Super Gyuto. We have one here. I don't know how many we have in stock. We have a few of these in stock, for sure. This one's free as well. What is the price now? So just shout it out. $331. So this is Agami Super, clad with stainless steel from Andrew-san. Look at the dimples in those, man. That's cool. And $331 for that, and that's the Anderson. Okay, Nathan, question. All right, so someone's looking for that for me. We need to, till we find something. Next question, Nathan.
Yeah, can you talk about the differences between the Tojiro Senko and Flash?
Oh, somebody's asking about Tojiro stainless, or no, Tojiro Senko versus Flash. They are the same blade with a different handle. That is the difference. And Senko, they have, well, Senko and Flash, they've discontinued both of them now, haven't they? Do we have any Senko or Flash? I don't know what that is. Naoto's going to talk about that. Oh, we do have some Senko and some Flash.
Well, Senko only 2 hiki to them.
Tsujiki 210 for Senko. I have the bread knife from that. Brilliant. I love that Senko handle.
I need that ever so both of it. In the meantime, Jimmy Parker's wondering about a stainless clad carbon Santoku.
Stainless clad carbon Santoku in my hand for Jimmy Park, you said?
Yeah.
So did you say Algami Super Santoku? Oh, it's from Makoto. Oh, yeah. So this is Makoto Kurosaki. So it's Yu Kurosaki's brother. So this is carbon with stainless cladding. That one's $248. I assume that you put this in my hands now because it is also. This is Algami again. Nishiji finish. Look at that. So this one is the and Matsu.
It's the
Tsunehisa. That's what it is. Tsunehisa. So this is Tsunehisa. It's $172. Super big bargain, man. Western handle and Algami clad with stainless Santoku. And I have another one I'm looking for with carbon steel. Where I don't see it. Okay, Naoto tells me I have another Musashi Santoku here underneath everything, but I can't find it. There is, oh, here we go. This is blue carbon with stainless clad. From Sakai Kikimori. It's $360. And these ones are handmade in Kyushu, right?
Yeah.
We're going to go and meet that blacksmith next time I'm allowed to ever go back to Japan. So there's some options for you, man. Nathan.
Okay, so what's the best Christmas knife under $250?
Best Christmas knife under $250 is what we're looking for. So you want something, if you're going to give a gift, I think you want something that's stainless steel, so it's not going to rust, easy to take care of. You want something that looks brilliant when you open the box, because you want to win. I know it's not supposed to be competitive in your gift giving, but I always like to win. So we're looking for something that is stainless, looks super cool, and is under $250, you said, right, Nathan?
Yep.
So here we go. Tsunehisa. Again, Tsunehisa, Damascus. Hi. Tsunehisa, BG10, Damascus Santoku. That is $218. This is okay. So this, I'm told, is ZA18 steel, not BG10. So search ZA18. Naoto, tell me what ZA18 is. I have no idea.
It's a very similar steel to the BG10, slightly better.
Perfect. So instead of Takafu, which makes BG10, this is the ZA18 made by Aichi. It's very similar to ZA or BG10 steel, but it's going to hold its edge a bit longer and it's a little bit more robust. So there you go. That is a great Christmas present. Another great Christmas present, again, Tsunehisa, is the Damascus Karochi. Karochi? Well, no. They're calling it Black Damascus because it's etched there. $201. It's AUS 10 steel. That's a cool knife. Actually, that's a great present. Under $250, easy peasy. I'm going to look around for one more thing that's under $250 that I think is a great, great present. Because you need something stainless, like I said, and you need it to look cool. Oh, yeah. This is from Matsutani, VG10 Yuto, $138. My God, with that price, you could buy two. There you go. Another winner for Christmas. Nathan, your speed round is very slow. You got to keep firing questions at me, man. I got an Anruko Bunka in front of me. It's on my left. I do not see an Anruko Bunka. There it is. Where's measuring? There's measuring. He wants to know the height of it at the heel. At the heel, this blade is, let's do it there. This blade is 33 millimeters at the heel. So go, 33 millimeters. Fire away, Nathan. Oh, John, you want to know the difference between a Tsujihiki and a Yanagiba? This is a Tsujihiki. It is sharpened on both sides. It is a thin, thin knife. You see that? It is very thin, sharpened on both sides. This is a slicing knife. This is a cool handle. So this is a Masakagi Mizu with a super deluxe handle on it. There's one of these in the world, and this one is $355. So that's a Yanagiba. Or sorry, Tsujihiki. That is like your typical carving knife if you're used to European knives. But this is what a Yanagiba is. That side's flat, and that side's sharpened. So if you can look here, it may be hard to see, but you see the back is concave like this, and the front side comes down and then straight. And this is for slicing sashimi, especially, but for slicing any protein or any meat. So this is the difference between slicing raw fish and sushi. Is this knife does a way better job of slicing. And that's a single bevel knife. If you're right-handed, the world is your oyster. You can have most of them. If you're left-handed, you have to look for a left-handed Yanagiba. Or learn to use your right hand.
But a few folks ask about rainbow Damascus knives. Do we have any?
Okay. I don't.
No.
Okay, some people are asking about rainbow Damascus knives. Saji-san worked with Takafu Specialty Steels to make this steel, and Hinura-san uses it as well. And what it is, it's layers of stainless steel with carbon, stainless steel. So stainless steel, carbon, stainless steel, bronze. Stainless steel, carbon, stainless steel, bronze. So you get this Damascus finish that's got a copper color and a bronze color in it. It's really comes into its own if you want to make a carbon steel blade with stainless Damascus on the outside. Because to heat treat the carbon steel, you have to do it in a certain way, and it doesn't make the Damascus steel pop on the stainless. So either you can do it in a really precise way in the like in a factory setting where you can really control the heat, like these Mugens that we have that somebody has moved and I can't find them. There we go. So these Mugen knives here, this is something we worked with Sanyoriki to make these, because this is what I thought the whole world wanted, because for sure I did. So it's Algami Super core, but stainless Damascus on the outside. So you need a lamination company to make that steel for you, and then you need really tight heat control. So blacksmiths won't make it. These are made by where you can control the situation a lot stronger. These are a factory-made knife. They make the sheets of these, and then they punch the shape out, and then hand grind them and polish them and sharpen them. It's all done by hand. It's just not hand hammered. But that's what these Mugens are, and that's why people have. That's why Saji and Hinura-san try to use the or try to like make knives. I mean, with the rainbow Damascus, it's because they want that stainless steel on the outside to pop while the carbon steel is still heat treated properly. That Maya is also another idea of a sexy one, because that's the same idea. It's just regular Damascus, not the rainbow Damascus. Next question, Nathan. So Thomas Colson is asking about Cobalt Steel. These ones are from Kurosaki. So these are Cobalt Steel knives from Kurosaki. This one Reijin. This one's called Reijin. This one's called Sasame. So it's different textures on the handle or on the blades, and these are funky handle ones. The great thing about the Cobalt Steel is that at first people told me it was similar to VG10, And I think it is. It's stainless and it's kind of rugged and tough. But you know what? I think it's better than VG10 in the way that I think it's more stable. Like we've repaired fewer Cobalt knives, and they're really thin knives, right? So they're not super robust. We've repaired more Cobalt knives, or sorry, we've repaired more VG10 knives than Cobalt knives. So I think it's the Cobalt stays sharp about as long as VG10, but I think it's more stable. I think it's less likely to chip. Next question, Nathan.
Yeah, so we got Ezra John Pablo, any Musashi Gutos?
I'm looking for some Musashi Gutos. I've got one in front of me here. Oh, Mr. Pablo. Well, I got two Musashi Gutos here. One's a 240 and one's a, no, they're both 210s. Look at that. They're both 210s and they're both the same price, $290. So it's Nishiji Santo or Nishiji stainless steel on the outside and white carbon steel core. But the Nishiji's been polished, which is great. Well, I'm looking at Musashi Guto. Something that Mike wanted me to remind everybody, we're in Canada. So these are Canadian dollars, not US dollars, not Australian dollars, not New Zealand dollars, not euros, not Singapore dollars, just Canadian dollars. Boring old Canadian dollars.
What about Mississippi dollars?
And no, please go away, Mike. Oh. Mike is bothering me. Oh, I think Mike wants it. Mike, do you want to put the headphones on and take over?
Someone wants to know about that Cleaver, though.
Well, real quick, I got a quick one before that. Dan Pelletier on Facebook. Any left-handed Yanagiba?
Dan on Facebook. Naoto's looking for a left-handed Yanagiba for you. I'll show you that as soon as it comes here. Somebody's asking about this cleaver. This is a Western style cleaver, Kevin, right there. This one here is 150 millimeters long. Nice, heavy bone style cleaver, just like European style. And it's got the ring to hang it up. And my buddy, who owns Acme Meats, Corey, the butcher, he has one of these in his shop there. So there you go. If nobody's going to ask me questions in the speed round, I'm going to make my own questions. All right. This is something we need to talk about. Michiko in Sakai, she is an artist who does engraving on knives. Naoto is going to tell me, or Nathan's going to tell me the price of these because I don't know. She has engraved these all freehand. So this is cherry blossoms and a maiko in Kyoto. Look at that. This is exquisite. Now these are on 240 millimeter debas. Very heavy knife for very large fish butchery. But the thing is with this, this isn't a knife for using. This is a knife for looking at. These are knives for admiring. These are knives for collecting. You wouldn't really want to use it. Fish guts would get caught in all the grooves and probably rust very easily. But we've got 4 of them from Michiko, who carves these. She's done such a cool job. So this one is the Maiko. So they're all 1,020 Canadian dollars. So they're just over $1,000 bucks. This one is the Dragon. His head is at the top there. You can see his head there and the tail. I just think these are so cool. She is such a talent. We've got this one with a koi fish. That. If you've ever been to Japan, you'll see the koi just live in the rivers and ponds everywhere. Oh, I love that koi one. And this one here, and I've never seen an engraved knife that's Karochi. Oh, can I get the right angle there? It's hard to see this one. If I hold it sideways. So it's a dragon again. You see his head is up here. And his body's all bent around like that. I think these are so cool. So we've got 4 of these only. You've seen them all now. They're $1,000. Oh, the Karochi one is $950. The other 3 are $1,020.
Left-handed. They're not necessarily gross, though. They are kind of regular.
Okay, so we have got one left-handed Yanagiba. Oh, we've got a 270, and this is a 240 here. So these are Sakai Takiyuki. So this is a left-handed Yanagiba. It's 243. This is a 210. It's a 240 millimeter left-handed Yanagiba. We also have a 270 from Sakai Takiyuki. They're not garage sale knives, but they are on the website. So you can find them under Sakai Takiyuki.
Any low to mid-tier price Gyutos for sale? Yes.
So somebody's asking us for some low to mid-tier Gyutos that are in the sale. Oh, that's when my drinking problem started. Drooling beer on me now. Okay, so we're looking for some less expensive Gyutos in the sale. Oh, these are back. That's right. All right, listen. Mike's hunting for less expensive Gyutos. We got the Pro M here. It's $149. Single piece construction. This is molybdenum vanadium, or maybe it's AUS8. AUS8. So there you go, stainless steel, $149. We've got the Tojiro Zuchime. They've actually stopped making this line, but we bought everything that was left over. VG10, this is $192. Look at that. Look at the hammered dimples on there. It's got a little lacquer on it too, which makes it super shiny. I'm such a fan of these. I'm so sad that they killed this line. But we bought, how many did we buy of these now? Because they said we had, so we bought 75 of the 210s. We bought basically all the stock they had left because they started this line, then they decided to kill it, and we bought everything they had left over, which is great. So now we've got those. That's a 192. This one's a little bit of a jump here. This is 290. It's from Musashi. Again, this is a hand-hammered knife by Master Blacksmith for 290. Come on. White carbon steel core, stainless clad. And I love that Nishiji texture. Look at that. And it's got a D-shaped handle. For 214. Oh, that's me spilling beer over the most expensive knives we've got. Luckily, we don't have cloth here or anything. There you go. Live TV. Live TV. Me spilling beer on $1,000 knives. Because that's the kind of professional I am. It's not absorbent, and my shirt's wool. Thanks for cleaning up my mess, Nathan. Disaster averted. All right. We have got this one here. This is a 210 millimeter Gyuto from, there's a name on this one on the website, guys. Oh, Tsunehisa again. Am I just going to not say Tsunehisa all day? Keep forgetting about it. So this is Tsunehisa Damascus Kuro, or black, 210, and it's $214. So those are some low to mid range Gyutos for you there to look at. Nathan, question.
Yeah, James Wang wants to see the
Okay, we got two Shigefusas. Shigefusas, this hot shot. I guess, do you really understand? Shigefusa knives are fit and finish are perfect. Their knives are really sought after. We get as many Shigefusa knives as we can. This time, right now, we have one Nakiri and two 270 millimeter Gyutos. These Shigefusa knives, as soon as we throw the switch on Monday at the beginning of the garage sale, they'll be gone in the first 5 minutes. Like, these knives are going to fly out of here. Here's the 270 millimeter Gyuto. Obviously, it comes with a saya. Megaki finish. It's $970. So we've got two of these 270 millimeter Gyutos with the saya, and we have got one of the Karochi finish, or the black finish Nakiris. And I'm just going to try to get out of the box here. There we go. We've got one of this, and this one is $489. These three knives from Shigefusa, and it again comes with the saya. That's the wooden sheath. These will fly out of here, right? Shigefusa is seen as one of the top blacksmiths going. If you talk to Bob Kramer, hotshot U.S. blacksmith, American blacksmith, working down in Oregon. Or is he in Washington, Bob? I don't know. Actually, interesting thing about Bob, him and I sharpened some knives together. We made a video, but we never published it. We should probably get around to doing that, where we sharpened some knives together and had contrasting views. But I'll defer to him on that. And he helped me with the Damascus chapter of my book that came out a couple years ago called The Knife Nerd Guide to Japanese Kitchen Knives. But anyway, he thinks that Shigefusu is the #1 blacksmith in Japan. And now Nathan's going to hit me up with some more questions here. So who does? Iggy wants to see the retired Kobanka. Look at that. There's your retired Masakagi Kobanka.
Wow, that sharpening job looks amazing.
Wow. Did you do that sharpening job, Mike?
Nope.
Naoto did the sharpening job. That's why it's amazing.
Oh, you're
Mike didn't do it. That's why. Naoto did. That's why it's amazing. Well done, Naoto. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Kevin Hobby wants to see the Fusion Bunkus.
Kevin Hobby wants to see Fusion Bunkus. $2.95. It's VG10. Fusion. Oh, that's about the Damascus too. They don't all have Damascus. Look at that. That is cool, Kevin, who shares my name. For $2.95 VG10. That's a winner, dude. That is a total winner. Nathan, speed round questions.
Troy Glover wants to see the Moritaka AS Karochi Nikiri.
Troy Glover wants to see the Nikiri that's in front of me. Agami Super from Damascus. When I stop, take a breath, Nathan, hit me up with the next question. We'll do that from now on. When I stop, take a breath, you hit me with a question. So the Agami Super, Moritaka Nikiri, super flat edge. The Moritakas have been making knives super thin. Moritakas have been making knives for over 720 years down in Kyushu. There we go. I think we've got one or two of those, not too many. It's got a walnut handle. Derek Arsenault wants to see some 150 petties. This is a huge one. This is a really tall 150 petty. Look at that. Sakai Kikimori. How would we find this one, Naoto, on the website if you're looking for it? Sakai Kikimori, but is there another name for it? Okay, so this one will be called Sakai Kikimori Nishiji. So it's Agami 2, so super blue steel 2 with stainless on the outside, $275. We have got a VG10 from Anrisan, VG10 Damascus 150 petty with the red Packawood handle. Always a winner. And you see the steel bolster doesn't, or the steel tang doesn't go to the end, so you end up with a much lighter feeling knife. Feels more like a Japanese handle than a Western handle in weight. So that's fun. That's 156. We've got the Pro-M. These are great. If I was a chef, I'd have a bunch of these because easy to sharpen, easy to keep sharp, look great, stainless steel, don't have to worry about it. And the price is $82 on that 150 petty. Boom. Yep. And here's another 150 petty, SG2 powder steel from Kobayashi. I've got the 240 Uto of this at my house with one of those custom handles. I love it, man. So this is $409. Now it's going to be gone pretty quick, I think. Nathan, I stopped for a breath. My favorite knife finish? It's like saying what's your favorite painting, man, or what's your favorite bottle of wine. I'm a sucker for Damascus steel knives, always. I'm a sucker for Karochi knives. I'm a sucker for Kurosaki's crazy Zuchime. I don't know. I don't have a favorite. I like all of them. That's the problem. I really like knives. I do have a favorite style of construction. I really like carbon steel core with stainless wrapped around the outside, because I think you get all the benefits of cutting with carbon, but you get very few of the rusting issues. For example, this knife here, which, by the way, look at this. Look at the stature of that. Look how tall that is, man. That is like super tall. Mike, I want this.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's $419. It's Algami Super, clad with stainless. It's Algami 2? Oh, sorry. It's not Algami Super. It's Algami 2. Rato stainless. You see the big heavy hammer marks in it. I love how tall it is. Like this is a big tall knife. The 210 Yuto looks more like a 210 Santoku because it's so tall. Water buffalo horn and magnolia, and I'm a fan of this. Now, so do we get a lot of these? I know we ordered a few, but I don't think we ordered that many. Like maybe, like I think they're under 5, isn't it?
No, we have like 10, I think.
Maybe we got 10 of these. Mike, I want one of these.
I don't blame you, and I would like you to buy it first and tell me how it is.
Mike says I have to buy it first and then tell him about it. I don't know if you know, Mike's got a lot of knives. Hold on, this is my buddy Mike here. He's our operations manager. I'm going to show you a picture of Mike's knife collection at home because I was at Mike's for coffee recently. And Mike, you probably don't know this, but I snapped a picture of your knives when you weren't looking because they were too sexy. He's got 4 knife magnets in his kitchen of knives. And here I am saying I'm going to show you a picture on my phone, except I can't find them. Did I not? Oh, no, it's not there. Okay, Nathan's going to hit me up with a question while I'm looking. I'm going to look. I'm going to answer a question, and I'm going to find this picture of Mike's knife collection because it's really something. Somebody wants to know about the custom handle Fujimoto D Nishiji Deba Fujimoto 217 Mini Deba, $217. That's the custom handle. That is a cool handle. Big fan of that. I hope it finds a good home.
What's the most interesting, unique, or weirdest thing you got?
I think the most interesting thing we have for this sale is either the Hanyaki Musashi or, okay, here. We've got a Hanyaki heat treated, Hanyaki, here it is. So Hanyaki Kurosaki. So somebody's asking for unusual, weird, cool. So I'm tall. There we go. This is Hanyaki heat treated from Musashi. $2,132. There's one of them in the whole world. It's of course mirror polished because it's Musashi. But you see this smokiness right here? That's the hamon. So that's the way a Hanyaki knife is made. When they heat treat it, the spine gets hard, but the edge gets harder. So they're really expensive knives to make because 2 to 4 of them will break. 2 to 4 out of 5 of them will break when they take it from the heat and stick it in the water to quench it, because it's a dangerous way to do this. You've got one piece of steel, but you're getting 2 hardnesses out of it. Samurai swords were heat treated the same way, so it's a really romantic way of doing it. So that's an interesting and unusual and crazy thing we've got. And that's from Musashi-san. Yes, I've got it now. So, and this is a Usuba from Doi-san. Keijiro Doi is the father of Itsuo Doi. So we have knives from Itsuo Doi all the time at the shop, but this is his father, and his father was the really famous one. So we've managed to score 2 of these Usuba from Doi-san. He's since passed. He died a few years ago. We got 2 of these. They're super hard to get. Most people that have them in collections and they're not parting with them. We've got 2. They're $892 each. I reckon both of those knives will be gone in the first hour on Monday. That is something super cool. And I'm going to show you one more thing that I think is really wild. And it is a Hanasuki Masakagi Kumo. But look at that handle! Woo! So there you go. That's a weird thing too. $425 for that. Nathan, hit me up. Got it. Zuin Kurosaki 210. I see it. I see. Oh, there it is. Whew. I've been talking for a couple hours. I'm tired now. There is the Zuin Kurosaki 210. Look at that super polished Damascus. The handle is Packawood, and there's a, I think it's a micarta. Yeah, it's a micarta spacer in there. Look at the shape here. It's a 7-sided handle, and it's got this really cool angle here. Like there's a lot of design has gone into this, and it feels great in your hand. I could see me owning one of these. I've got the petty of this. Big fan. Jordan, here's the Moritaka Ishime Kyutsuke. Nathan, why is the Moritaka Ishime Kyutsuke in the garage sale?
It's not.
Oh, it's not in the garage sale. Okay, so wondering, this is a standard. This is like a, this is an always knife that we have. So Ishime means rock finish or rock face, and that's the texture they put in the blades. That's hammered into the texture. That's hammered into the blade at the end of forging. It's a second process. It's a cold forging process they use to give it this texture. The texture is great because it makes the steel harder and tougher. So it's not going to go sharp or dull as quick as the standard line of knives they make from Agami 2. And it's also less likely to bend because they're really thin knives, right? And they could bend. But by doing the Ishime finish, they've just toughened the blade up in a lot of ways.
And I got 325.
And that one's 325.
Troy Glover would love to see something for filleting bass.
Troy Glover wants to see something for filleting bass. Bass. Sea bass? Smallmouth bass? Have you guys ever eaten a smallmouth bass or a largemouth bass? This is, yeah, because you would want, if you're talking sea bass, we'll grab a different deba. If you're talking bass that you catch in Ontario, you're probably looking for like a little deba like this. This one's $275. This one is, oh, this Musashi-san. Oh, just get this. The Musashi deba. There, done, easy. Get that. It's white carbon steel. It's made by Musashi, which means kick butt, also called kick ass. And it's only $275, so that's great.
This is a little more open-ended. Ian's wondering.
Ian.
He's desired the birchwood bunker for a long time, but he wants a knife that's hand forged.
So Ian, you want a birchwood banka. So that is an SG2 Damascus steel knife made by Henkel, or Miyabi, if you will. And so you want something similar but handmade. So I'm going to grab this. It's a banka, Nathan, that he wants?
Yeah.
All right. So let's grab some
yeah.
SG2 bankas. Is the Rasian SG2? Rasian SG2? Rasian. Anyway, so I'm going to get some SG2 bankas here in my hand to show you. That's a, oh, I should show you this one anyway. Oh, here's an SG2 bunker, of course, and I've got the 240 Yuto of this. So this is from Kato-san. Oh my God, what's the Miyabi? What's the price on the Miyabi Birchwood bunker? I'll bet this is even cheaper. So this is handmade. This is a bunker shape SG2. This one's $365, and the one you're looking at from Miyabi is $30 more. And this is handmade by Master Kato-san. This is Kato's SG2, it might be called Black Damascus bunker. The other one you want to look at too, for 417, is this guy, VG10. So it's not SG2, so it won't stay sharp quite as long. But man, Anderson's a master with VG10, and look at that wild handle! Woo! So this is it's a Masakagi Kumo, but with a one-of-a-kind wild handle. And if your hands are big like mine, you'll like this handle because it's a bit bigger, and it feels really great. Another banka that might fit the bill for you, and it's not SG2, it is actually Cobalt. The great thing about Cobalt is that it stays sharp almost as long as SG2, but it's a bit easier to resharpen, which is nice. And here it is. Again, it's got a funky handle. It's made by Kurosaki-san, but look at the texture on that. Sexy. There you go. I hope that gives you some ideas of what you could have that isn't the factory-made Miyabi. I'm going to show you one more actually that I think you would love in a bunka shape. Actually, it's going to be not a bunka shape. It's going to be a Santoku shape, which is the same as a bunka, just with a different tip. And it is, here it is. This is VG10. Oh no, that's not the one I want to show you. Well, why don't I show you this one? Here's a VG10 Damascus Santoku from not Yu Kurosaki, but Makoto Kurosaki. So Kurosaki, Yu Kurosaki's brother, VG10, $299 for hand-forged Damascus Santoku. Oh, and Mike has got a collection of bunkas that we should look at, especially this guy here. This is Agami Super, stainless steel clad from Kurosaki. This is for Chris Floden. Chris Floden on YouTube is asking about bunkas.
Yeah, he's asking about fancy handle bunkas.
Oh, fancy handle bunkas. Whoa, well, there we go. There's fancy handle bunka. That's from Yu Kurosaki with the turquoise handle. So there's that one. His fancy handle bunka. Masakagi Kumo with one-of-a-kind stabilized wood. That one is $417. Here's another Masakagi Kiri, $359. And look at that wild handle. Actually, that's one of my favorites of Dustin's weird handles. I just love these. Mike used to call them the psychedelic mushroom handles. Questions, Nathan? I got a stack of cool Karochi Gyutos, starting with the Moritakas. So the Moritaka family been making knives since 1293. So they know what they're doing. And this is, this is their Agami Super or Super Blue Steel Gyuto, $322. This one here is from Anderson. It's again Agami Super, but this one's wrapped with stainless steel, so it's a bit different than the Moritaka that way. Rosewood and black paca wood handle, and that one's free. There's no price tag on it at all. So since nobody's put a price on it, order it now. It's free until they put a price tag on it. That is the Anderson Zuchime Agami Gyuto, and this is, oh, it's how much?
$331.
It's $331, that Anderson knife we just showed you. And this one, $390. But this is, again, this is number 2 carbon steel, wrapped with stainless, Karochi, as you can see. It's got that wild textured finish. Look at that. And this is from Monaco-san. I have got the same knife, but in ATS 30, but this is his carbon steel version. Actually, it's not wrapped in stainless, is it, Naoto? No, it's not. This is just W2 or white 2 carbon steel with carbon cladding and Karochi finish. He's lacquered the Karochi, so it's not going to fade away so fast or wear off so fast. That's a killer Karochi Damascus, or the Karochi Gyuto. Naoto or Nathan, hit me up with a question. Brian Crook. So Brian Crook, you want to see the Tsujihiki Senko from Kurosaki next to the Tsujihiki from Zuen. So you see the Senko's a little bit longer. So the Kurosaki one is how much, Nathan? Tsuji Senko. And then the Zuen SG2 is $398. So $412 and $398 for the Zuen, this one here, and $412. They're both R2 or SG2 steel, the same thing, more or less. And one's got Damascus, the Zuen's Damascus, and There we go, side by side.
Where are you going?
I hope that helps you out. If not, shoot us another question.
Speaking of which, will there be retired demo knives for sale this month?
There's always retired demo knives for sale. They're 35 to 50% off. Oh, this is a Musashi. Oh my God, this is a Musashi. What's it called? Kikimori. So I don't know. There's no price tags on them, but they're 35 to 50% off, kind of depending on how used they are, right? So we've got that. We've got. Oh, I know what this is. The 210 Mugen Gyuto. Nathan, you've got this knife, don't you?
I do.
I've got this. I got the petty of this. I'm a fan of these, man. So this one is the this one's the HAP 42, isn't it? That's the HAP 40. Sorry? Oh, sorry, Dogami Super. So this one's Dogami Super with stainless Damascus. That is a winner. And here's one more of our retired sample knives. Oh, it's a Musashi Koi, Santoku. Naoto, you did a great job on this. So Naoto has resharpened these and polished them up, and he's really done a good job making that Kasumi finish on there. So there we go. There's kind of a preview of some of our sample knives that are going to be hitting the sale. The sale starts Monday. I was talking about the garage sale. So what we're talking about today is we're just having a sneak preview of the garage sale. The garage sale starts Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. At that time, you know, Ellie's going to flip the big red switch and boom, the sale goes live. If there's any of the retired knives or one-of-a-kind knives that you're after, get them now. But not now, at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Monday. Put them in your cart and then go and pay for them right away. If it's in your cart, doesn't mean it's reserved. And if it's one of a kind, and let's say I have it in my cart and Nathan has it in his cart and Naoto does, the first person to pay for it gets it, right? So if Naoto beats us to the checkout, he gets it. So if there's a one of a kind or super rare something you're after, just throw it in your cart and pay for it right away. You can always go back and buy a second, third, and fourth knives. Just the really rare stuff, pay for it right away because those go quickly. Like the knives, like the Shigefusas, they're going to go in the first minute. There's 3 Shigefusas. There's some fancy handled knives, like one-of-a-kind handles that are going to go fast. This Moritaka Hanasuki with the Ishime and Aogami Super, there's one of these in the world. It'll be gone immediately. In fact, I think Don Penny is going to buy this. So I kind of know who's going to buy this one. His name's Don Penny. And if he doesn't get it, John Long, I think, will probably have it. I'm sure they'll be fighting over that. So if you're after any of these knives that are like that, just get them right away. And then what you do is you go make a second order, and then on your second order say, hey, I've already made an order. This is the order number. Please ship them together. And what we'll do is we'll package them together and ship them off. So that's not a big deal.
Once you have your group over there, Robin Sharkey is wondering which of the honing rods do you use for what?
Robin Sharkey is asking about honing rods. Honing rods are what keeps your knife sharp. So I think of them like a comb. Think of them like a comb. You use them to get your hair looking good, but eventually, like this that's going on up here, you need a haircut. This is my COVID rock locks. I'm rocking. This is my haven't had a haircut since January look. The white one is a little bit more aggressive and faster than the black one. Personally, this is overkill, but this is what I do at home. I generally use the white one to get the knife sharp again, really quick. I use the black one to refine the edge a bit more, and then I use a leather strop, which if I had one here, I'd show you. Then I use the leather strop after to just strop it and really get my blade as sharp as I can without sharpening it on water stones, which is what you eventually need to do. So think of this like combing your hair, but eventually you need to put it on the water stones and sharpen it or get a haircut, right? But these keep your knife sharp longer. I like the white one for super hard steels and German knives. And I like the black one for carbon steel knives and stuff like BG10 and stuff. But if you got powder steel, I think the white one does a better job. If you just want one, like I said, I do a 2 system. I do first this, then this, and then leather strop. But I am a big knife nerd, so there you go.
Asked, I have 4 knives from Masakagi, 270 Yuto, Nikiri, Banka, 130 penny. What should be my next shape? We did put a couple there suggestions. But we got a lot of options there.
That's not Masakagi.
Yeah, he's got Masakagi, but
Oh,
he needs recommendations for.
So he is. So somebody's asking. They've got a Masakagi.
Yeah, they got 4 Masakagi.
They've got 4 Masakagi knives.
Big 270 Yuto.
270 millimeter Yuto. Nikiri. Banka. 130 petty. And they're asking what's next. I'd say a Tsujihiki is next. If you don't have a Tsujihiki, go for a Tsujihiki. Or yeah, I would just say get a Tsujihiki. That's easily the next one, right? Here's no, he's got a Banka. Oh, Mike says you got to have a Banka and a 210 Yuto and a 270. He's right. But you don't have a Tsujihiki, so I'd say get a Tsujihiki for slicing roast beef or huge calf livers or sashimi if you want. This one, for example, is a Mizu, Masakagi Mizu, and it's got a custom handle. Look at that wild handle. Man, this Dustin makes such weird things. I just think they're wicked. Mike calls them the weekend handle. Says you can eat mushrooms and then look at these handles and be interested for weeks. I don't know what that means, but this one's $355, and that's a one-of-a-kind Masakagi Mizu Tsujihiki. So I'd say from the sounds of it, you need a Tsujihiki, and then Mike's right, you need a 210 millimeter Yuto. So something like, if you're going to stay with Masakagi, oh, this is the other thing too. Maybe you need a Hanasuki for butchery. That's what you need. You need a Tsujihiki, then a Hanasuki, then a 210 Yuto. So this is a Masakagi Kumo, again with a wild weekend handle that Mike likes. $425. There you go. Get a Tsujihiki and also get a butchery knife, and then get a 210 Yuto.
And there's a 210 Kalishi.
And here's a 210 millimeter Yuto from Masakagi. Masakagi Koishi is actually our #1 selling knife forever. Oh, so Iggy, here you go. Here's your retired, resharpened by Mr. Naoto Fujimoto. Yeah, he did this one. And it's got a really good looking Hanasuki, or a really good looking Kasumi finish on it. The handle could use a little bit of grease. So we'll just grease up the handle a little bit. It's starting to feel a bit dry. But there you go. All the retired knives are going to be 35 to 50% off. None of these have prices yet, but we're taking care of that right now. I don't know if you've seen Mike and Naoto and Nathan scurrying around behind. They're putting prices on things. We're getting this all set up because Monday when the sale starts, about 10 minutes before the sale starts, Mike, Naoto, Nathan, and I, we're all going to take turns, but we're going to do exactly this to help you find the right knife. So we're going to answer questions. We're going to show you knives. We're going to talk about how to care for them. I'm bringing my guitar so I can play very badly for you. And Mike can also play very badly. And Naoto is a bit of a guitar shark. So Naoto's going to show us how to play some really death metal on my little tiny acoustic guitar. There's Naoto nodding over there. See that? Oh, Naoto was headbanging. I thought he was nodding and being polite. I thought he was bowing, but he was violently agreeing by headbanging. So we'll bring a guitar. We'll do stupid things. Mike says he's going to make his famous coffee. Mike makes coffee that if you have 2 cups, 1 cup you're pretty excited, 2 cups you think you might have a heart attack. So that's always fun. And that's going to start about 10 minutes before the sale starts.
PayPal Goran wants to see the SG2 Damascus 120 from Taco, which is that little red brand over there.
So we're looking at this one now. Somebody wants to see this. It's the SG2. It's the 150 petty, is what? Or 120 petty that you wanted to see. There it is. Like I keep saying, I've got the 240 Yuto of this, and I love it. So this is, what is the handle? That's not rosewood. Or if it is rosewood, it's the coolest rosewood I've seen in a long time. And it's got red Packwood collar. There you go, man. Honduras rosewood. So legal, not the illegal rosewood. There you go, man. Naoto, hit me, or Nathan, hit me up the question.
The Weird Divide wants asking any tall 210 Yuto suggestions.
I've got it. We're looking for tall 210 Yutos. So when you're talking about knife, this is the length. From here to here is the length. And the height is here. And that is a tall. That is a very tall. So here is a standard Yuto height. In front here, in the back, is this tall one from Takeda-san. So there you go. This one's from Takeda. What I love is this wild handle. So $549, one of a kind, unique handle, and that's a Takeda tall Gyuto. And here, this one is Sakai Kikimori, and it is Aogami 1, clad with stainless steel, and it's also another really tall one. Mike and I earlier were really admiring this, thinking this is the knife that we really want to have. So I think we've got a few of these, under 10, I think under 6 of these actually. If this one's around at the end of Monday, I would like to take it home. We're not allowed, the staff and myself included, are not allowed to shop at the garage sale until after the first day. Otherwise, frankly, we're all big knife nerds, and frankly, we just buy all the best stuff. So everybody gets one day crack at the best stuff, then me and the staff run in and we buy what we want, and then the sale goes on for the week. Also, tune in later in the week. So we're doing live broadcasts like this Monday morning during the first 6-8 hours of the sale. But we're going to come back on Thursday evening, and Mike and I are going to do another live segment then. Again, same thing, answering questions, showing knives, talking knives, because we usually get more knives in partway through the garage. So I know we even got a box today that just arrived this afternoon, and I know we've got more boxes en route. So by Thursday, there'll even be more stuff, more new stuff again. So tune in and we'll show you what's new. Nate.
Okay, so we want to see from Hanasuki, Samir Kumo.
So we need to see some Hanasukis. I got 2 in front of me here. I got 3 in front of me here. So this one's Sakai Takiyuki. It's actually a Garasuki. So Garasuki is just a big Hanasuki. So you see the difference. This is a Hanasuki. This is a Garasuki. You see the size difference there, right? So this is Sakai Takiyuki Garasuki, although I know it's listed on the website as a Hanasuki. It's single bevel as well. And this one is $404 for hand-hammered single bevel Garasuki. This one is going to be gone in the first seconds. This is the one and only. This is the only one of these in the world. Is a Ishime finished Aogami Super Karochi Hanasuki from Moritaka-san. $277. And here is probably my favorite one lately because I love that handle. Look at that. So this is a Masakagi Kumo Hanasuki. This one's a really good Hanasuki, not for heavy, like not for really fast and kind of smashing chicken butchery. But if you're gonna take your time, this is a great one. It's also thin enough. It's also thin enough that you could use it as a multi-purpose kind of utility knife as well. So there's my 3 options, or my 3 ideas for Hanasukis in the garage sale. Demon Spectre, yeah, I know you, man. Demon Spectre is one of those guys that always watches us on Lord and I with Japanese knives at once. I think it's Damon.
Oh, Damon.
Demon, if you're Nathan Garrow.
Demon Spectre is pretty cool. Is Aogami Super worth the extra money versus the blue number 2?
That is an excellent question. So he wants to know, is Aogami Super worth the extra money versus the blue number 2s for the Moritaka knives? Here's the big difference. Aogami Super will generally stay sharp longer than Aogami 2 or Blue Steel 2, right? But when they hammer that texture into the blade, Murataka-san, when he hammers this ishime texture in, a few things happen. And this is why you can't always say, well, these knives are all made out of the same steel, therefore they're the same, right? There's something called craftsmanship that takes place. If we gave the four of us in this room water, salt, flour, and yeast, we'd all make 4 different loaves of bread, and mine would be better than theirs, obviously. But Mike's would be second good.
Yours would be better because you just get your wife to make it.
Mine would be better because I would get my wife to make. She makes the best sourdough, maybe in Canada. This is a true fact. So the ishime white or blue 2 knives stay sharp longer than most blue 2 knives. In fact, almost as long as Aogami Super knives that haven't gone through the cold forging process to make the ishime. So this one, so a little bit more, an Aogami Super, because it hasn't been cold forged like this one, they might stay sharp similar, to be honest. So Murataka-san, when he told me, he's really excited because they make the ishime finish just for us exclusively. What he said about this ishime finish, he says it makes the steel harder and tougher. So it stays sharp longer, a little bit less likely to chip, and also less likely to bend. So is it worth the extra money for the Aogami Super? Yes, if that's what you want. Maybe, because it should stay less sharp a little bit longer, but it's like really, they're really similar if we're comparing the ishime to their standard finish. So Damon, I hope that answers your question, man. Or demon is what Nathan called you earlier, because Nathan's insane. Nathan's a metalhead and wants somebody to be called Demon.
Your name is actually Demon. You're going to make it go really bad.
Well, maybe your name is Demon. Okay, I don't know, man. I thought it was Damon.
Eric H. wants to see that custom handle Mizu Petty, that really sexy one.
Eric wants to see the custom handle Mizu Petty that's right here in front of me. How'd you guys are doing this? Whoa! Does anybody know what this wood is on this one? So it's $205, but it's this really grainy green wood with the brown on both ends. Any idea what that wood is, Mike?
No.
It's all stabilized wood of some sort.
Green wood.
Wow, it's also got green dye in it. But there you go. One of a kind Mizu Petty with a custom handle. Nathan, next question.
Yeah, man. Sultan's got a little more in-depth question. What knife combo would you recommend for a chef student? I know it's been a while, Kevin, but
It's been a while since I was a chef student, but I was a chef student once. We used to serve Velociraptor burgers at the cafe there because the dinosaurs were alive. That's how old I am. I used to have to walk uphill to Sate both ways, into the wind, into the snow, both ways every day, uphill. So you want to know what is a set? I think a set, and Mike, maybe you can help me out here too because you were a chef for a long time. If I had a set of knives that I wanted to do as a Sate or a cooking student, I'd want a small petty, like a 85, 95, 100 mil petty, like a little one. I'd probably also want a 150 petty as well. Definitely a 240 millimeter Yuto. You can't have anything smaller. You need 240, if not 270. A Tsujihiki that's at least 270, but should be 300. So let's just say my dream, it would be 90 mil petty, 150 petty, an Akiri, a 240 or 270 Yuto, and a 300 mil Tsujihiki. I'd also have a fish scaler, a good flipper, a good thermometer, a zester from Microplane, fish tweezers. Mike, what other tools do you need as a student chef? What's like the most? Oh, a peeler. Get a Kuhn-Rikon peeler. They're $7. They're the best peeler in the world.
you need a boning knife.
Oh, a boning knife. I didn't say a boning knife.
240 boning knife, petty, peeler.
So Mike says 240, boning knife, petty, peeler.
Go ahead, plug it.
He's a bit more bare bones than me. So there you go.
Something like this is super helpful size. It's like a 160. It's like a paring
That's
knife.
like a big paring knife
Salads,
or a small. like I'd call it a utility knife, I think.
Yeah.
That's a 160 Tojiro Home.
Hard
No,
chicken.
this isn't the Home. What are these ones called?
Oboro.
Oboro. So this replaces the Tojiro Home. This is Oboro, and this is their new handle that doesn't crack because the Home handle cracked. They don't make it anymore. So there you go. And what's the price on these? $142. Now that's like a 160 Yuto or 160 Petty. I don't know. Super handy size. And if I was a pastry chef, this knife would be my #1 knife. This is like the orange segment cutting strawberries. Kiwi, the Kiwi killer. This is the Kiwi killer. All right.
Wise Lucas has a question about, I don't know if he is wise or if that's just his day, but
Wise Lucas has a question.
he's wondering if 210 Mabaroshis are part of the restock. This might be a good time to kind of talk about what garage sale is.
So we've got a question if 210 Mabaroshis are being restocked.
Well, if they're part of the
Or if they're part of the garage sale, or part of the, I don't know. Naoto's our purchaser for Japanese goods now. Japanese, do we have any 210 Fujiwara Mabaroshis in stock? Is that the problem? Or is he wondering if they're on the website for the garage sale?
I think he's kind of wondering.
Let's talk about the garage sale. The garage sale is more like record store day, okay? So I know that some people think the garage sale should be everything in the store at 30% off or something. That's Black Friday. Let's call it that. We don't do a Black Friday sale, but we do a garage sale. And what it is Naoto and I go to Japan 2-3 times a year. We buy a bunch of crazy stuff. We buy stuff from old blacksmiths that we know that are trying new things. We buy from new blacksmiths. We buy stuff from retired blacksmiths. Naoto, do you want to throw, or Nathan, do you want to throw a price on these? So, for example, here, Kagura-san is retired, but he still makes the odd knife. So we've got 4 hunting knives from the retired Kagura-san. I can't tell you how excited I am because I want one more. I got 2 of his axes. I got a 240 Yuto. I got 1 of his hunting knives. I want a second one. There's only 4 hunting knives. They're all $1,200 to $1,500. He's retired. We can talk about that later. But so we get stuff like that for the garage. So we get overstock from some people. Sometimes we get stuff like this, like Murata-san stopped making the Western handles. We bought all that he had left, and now we've just got a few of the petties left. So these are knives that are no longer made. So we've got those in the garage sale. We've got items like this in the garage sale from Kato, who doesn't make a full line of these. So we just buy them now and again for garage sale. Because the line's too small for us to carry at the shop. I think it's like a petty and to carry Santoku and Yuto. So we buy that for the garage sale. So the garage sale is one of a kind. Samples, retired. We have some retired. We have like all of our stores. We have sample knives so people can cut with them. So we've got retired. We've got retired sample knives. So that sort of thing in the garage sale. So it's not regular items that are on sale, though we have a few. We've got a few regular items that are on sale, like we have Musashi 240 Yuto and 270 Tsujihiki from the Kuroshu or Shiroshu line. So those will be, I'll take that cutting board, Mike. So those will be on sale because we're just overstocked, frankly. Things like this Paulina cutting board. So this is a really light wood cutting board from Japan and super friendly on your knives because it's so light and it's really quite soft wood. But you go to Japan and this is the sort of cutting board everybody's got in their kitchens. Naoto is very excited by this. And how much are they? $56, right? For a nice big cutting board that covers my face entirely and super light. Like it's just like really, really light. So you're not going to have to pick up the end grade larch wood and grunt every time like some people complain about the end grade larch wood cutting boards that we sell. They're super heavy. So that's what the garage sale is. Interesting, cool, strange. None of it is normal products that we carry unless they're retired or we have a bit of overstock that we want to get rid of.
Sean Coots in our Ottawa store.
Sean Coots in the Ottawa store is watching. Hey, Sean Coots.
He just says, Naoto, there's a Japanese metalcore band called Crystal Light that you think you would like if you have a love.
Sean Coots thinks Crystal Light is a Japanese hardcore band that Naoto should listen to. Sean Coots works in our Ottawa store. Sean Coots, and I can tell you guys this, he recently has made a 7-foot-tall Santoku out of wood as a Christmas decoration for the store. So I've challenged all the shops this year because I thought this year's a weird year. I thought we could use as many smiles or laughs as we can. And I was thinking about Clark Griswold in the National Lampoon's Holiday Christmas show. I don't know if you know that. Maybe it's a really old show and I'm too old to know it. But the big part of the show that I remember always is when he coats the whole house in lights and plugs in and blows everything up because he's an idiot. But the house completely covered in lights. So I've challenged all the stores for Knifewear in Kent of Inglewood to come up with the craziest Christmas decorations. Because I want people driving down the street or walking down the street at night to look over at our shop and go, oh my God, that's ridiculous. I just want people to smile a little bit because I think it's a year where we could use as many smiles as we can get. So Sean, you made a 7-foot Santoku, and I'm very excited.
Tracy Brennan.
Tracy Brennan.
Will you have an 80mm or less petty?
I'm holding one in my hands. Tracy's looking for an 80mm petty, and this is the two 80mm petties I've got. This one's from Murata-san. Like I said, he's not making this knife with this handle anymore. This is the end of the end. This one's $157. One of the interesting things to me about Murata-san is that this is the first handmade knife I bought was from Murata-san. So this kind of launched all the knifewear really. And here is a Miyazaki 80mm petty. I don't know if you can see Mike over here with the thumbs. You don't have this one though. You've got a 240 Gyuto.
Yep, I have a Santoku.
He's got a Santoku and he wants this one too. And he uses it all the time. So this is white carbon steel. And this is $205. Miyazaki is a cool hot shop blacksmith. So there are a couple 80mm petties for you to look at. Nathan, question.
Yeah, man.
Dr. G, you want the cheapest Gyuto in the garage sale? Nathan's going to go and put it in my hand. The cheapest Gyuto is probably these Pro-M guys.
Up here, I got you. Cheapest Gyuto, $199. This guy, $138 for a 180 Gyuto, $169.
Well, 138 is the cheapest. Here we go. Cheapest Gyuto I can find quickly is this one here. Look at the Damascus Matsutani VG10. It's $138, and it's Damascus, and it's got a Western handle. Look at that, 138. Crazy, crazy, crazy. That's my cheapest Gyuto I can find right now. Next question. Iceberg Moma. How you doing, buddy? Iceberg Moma is Iceberg Moma asking about the triple cut testing French fries? Oh my God. Okay, those guys are going to go collect me some 240 carbon steel Gyutos for Iceberg Moma. Iceberg Moma has also been harassing me. About a month and a half ago, Chris Lord and I on Knifewear or Japanese Knives 101, our Tuesday afternoon show, we said we were going to have a French fry throwdown cook-off, him in Ottawa, me in Calgary. And I would like to say I got my oil and potatoes for it, but Chris didn't. And we never did it. And Iceberg Mama's been harassing me since. And fair enough, I deserve it. So here are some carbon steel Gyutos. Cammy's asking about River Jump, and you're asking Iceberg Moma about carbon steel Gyutos. So here we go. This isn't a River Jump. This is called, what is this line called? It's Kitaeji, but this is a Hinura Kitaeji. It's a 210 Gyuto at $1,799, $1,799, and there's one, and this will fly out of here. So no River Jumps, but we've got this. Honestly, this one's not going to last beyond 1 minute at, 1 minute at the beginning of the garage sale. Maybe that's what you're looking for, Iceberg Moma. Maybe you're looking for a $343 Algami Super Gyuto 210 from Moritaka. Maybe you're looking for a 210 Munetoshi Gyuto with what they call the blast finish. Feels kind of, it's a little bit streaky, like a little bit line. You can see some lines, but it looks a bit like Apple laptop. So there's that one. And that's 258 smokin deal. 510. We have got this one. Oh, Sakai Ol. And now, what's the steel in this?
White number 1 stainless cladding.
White number 1 is stainless cladding. So white number 1 can get really hard, like up to 63, 64 rough gloss. That's $510 there for hand hammered one. This is cool. I can get into that. We got 498. We have got this one, 240 Gyuto from Sakai Kikimori. It's white carbon number 2. And again, this has a similar finish, right? I'm going to call it the Apple laptop finish. And I like that. And of course, we've got Anrisan for $331. Anrisan.
And that's for A-Ray who wants to make some stainless clad carbon.
Oh, well, here's a stainless clad carbon Gyuto in my hand from Anrisan. And it's Algami Super clad with stainless steel. There we go. So there, we got a few questions out of the way. How many more questions do we have, Nathan?
Only a couple more.
Good, because I'm getting tired.
Marshall Woods, are there any single bevel good or similar to beer?
Yes. Nathan, I would like another beer. The answer is yes. I would like the one in the blue can, please, Nathan. Oh, the guys think I'm drunk now and trying to keep me on task. I've had a beer, most of a beer, and I spilled some of it on our most expensive knives, which was poor, I have to be honest. And I've had a cup of coffee, Mike's special coffee, so I might never, ever go to sleep again because his coffee usually makes my heart feel like it's going to explode. I've got 2 single bevel Kutsukis here from Musashi. Oh, Musashi! My buddy Musashi. So we've got 2 of them here, single bevel Kutsukis. The 240 is $396. The 270 millimeter is $452. They're both white carbon steel. I love how he's ground the tip of these 2. So sexy. Oh, I got beer. Look at that. Oh, do you hear that? That's my favorite sound in the world.
I've opened Pandora's box now. I got Iceberg Moma talking about fries.
Iceberg Moma, you come over here to Calgary. We'll have a French fry throwdown. We'll do a live event with you and I cooking French fries. You'll lose.
Mount Everest, who's been watching for a hearty 3 hours or so. So thanks, buddy. What's your favorite of the Kaguras?
Sorry, what time is it?
6. 7 minutes. 6.
Oh, we've been doing this for 3 hours?
8 hours is gonna be easy now.
Yeah. You listen to me talk for 3 hours? You crazy? My goodness. Okay, well, I'm sitting down now, so clearly I'm tired. What was the question that I'm asking, Jason?
Your favorite of the Kaguras?
What's my favorite of the Kaguras? Oh, I already have a favorite. So these are all priced. They're all kind of like, oh, one's 1,800, one's 1,200. They're all different sizes. Ken Kagura-san has retired, okay? That's fact. He's retired, but his idea of retirement is very different than my idea of retirement, because his idea of retirement means that he's still making about 4 or 5 knives a month, but it's not that many even. And all of his knives he makes, his hunting knives, are one of a kind. He makes these really great sheaths that lock into place. So the knives have a little hook right here. So this little hook right here hooks underneath here. So the knife goes in and then it locks and then the snap comes over. So when you're wearing this knife on your belt, it's not coming out. There's no chance of it coming out, cutting you. And on the back, he puts a naked lady. His wife showed me that. She was very pleased. I asked her if she was the model and she just giggled and blushed. So he puts a naked lady on the back. And that's a little secret for us. So I get a little naked lady on my knife. So he has got 4 knives here. And if you've read the book I wrote a couple years ago called The Knife Nerd Guide to Japanese Kitchen Knives, you'll know about Kagura-san, because the chapter about Damascus steel is all Kagura-san's technique. And he's retired, so he said, but I've still got 4 knives in front of me. He makes a few knives still, but it's just whatever he wants. It's not, I can't place an order. So kind of monthly, he calls us and says, do you want some? And we're like, what do you have? And then we just buy them all. So we've got 4 that we've kind of stockpiled here. I have to say the last time we got one, I took it. We only got one and I grabbed it myself. It was beautiful. His technique is so unique, and it's such a bummer that he's retired because his technique was great. He uses recycled steel, like burnt up steel. So he puts a layer. So, okay, so he uses basically 2 kinds of steel. And when I was there last, and the knife I have and one of the axes, he was layering shovel. So he would get shovels from the local roadworks that they were retiring these shovels. He'd cut them into small pieces, like small little pieces of steel. So it'd be a piece of shovel and then a piece of a ship's hull. So there's a shipwrecking yard just down from him, and he can buy big pieces of hull. Ship hulls are about that wide, by the way. It's incredibly fat. I guess that's important for when you're building a ship. I don't really know much about building ships. But he would cut these pieces down so they were even sized little biscuits. So he'd put ship, shovel, ship, shovel, ship, shovel. And he'd make a stack of 7. He would tack weld them together and put them in the forge, put flux in between all the layers, and then forge weld them and just hammer them into one piece of steel. And then do a little Z fold with more flux, put it in the oven, hammer it down, fold it again. And he would make 3 levels of 20, or 3 levels of 7, which would turn into 21. So then you have 3 pieces of 21 level steel. Then you would put those together and then give them a fold and get like 180 some layers of steel in there. And what happens with his knives, you can see possibly there's a really faint Damascus pattern in the steel. Well, it's a really faint Damascus pattern in the steel. And that pattern, as you use it, and as the steel's oxidized, that pattern's really going to pop, right? And it's going to start coming alive. It's going to look like it's like rising out of the knife. And each one's totally unique. His knives look like old swords. And I don't know if anybody's doing this technique anymore. And I'm excited. So we've got this little guy, tiny little blade. What is this? Blade is about 60, is that right? 65 millimeter blade, and deer antler handle. It's got this one, which is a khaki, so the persimmon handle, persimmon wood and deer antler. And I like this one a lot. But that's not the one I want. Then there's this guy, again, persimmon. He's put a little cross there. And this is the guy I want. This one fits my hand. I like the tooling on the spine. They all actually, this time, no, the little guy doesn't have any tooling, but all the other ones do. They all have tooling on the spine there, which when you've got to put your thumb there, you've got something to grip. And then there's this guy again, persimmon and antler handle. And this one's similar to the one I currently have, and I'm wanting to have this one. Now, I'm not allowed to take any or buy any knives from the garage sale until after the first day is over. So hopefully this one or this one is still left. Those are the ones that I want to take home. So if one of those is left on by Tuesday morning, I'll probably grab it. Does that answer your question? Maybe. I'm prepared. Nathan has wowed me here. He says, I'm going to have the most flattering comment I've ever had ever, which might be the first comment I've ever had. A compliment.
Repeat this out loud. Dr. G says, love listening to Kevin talk. Will do an audio version of his before he leaves.
All right, Dr. G. Dr. G, you are so flattering. You've ruined me now because you say I have such a lovely voice. You want to hear me reading my book. I actually promised Kasumi I'd read the book for her years ago, and I never did it. So maybe I should. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do an audio version of the book. I'm going to go to Dr. G's house, Mike says, and read the book to you personally. No, maybe we should do an audio version of the book. I'll read the book, and I'll do it in one sitting. I will start reading first thing in the morning. I will stop for lunch, and then I won't stop for dinner until I'm done. And I'll make sure that I drink lots of cabin, super saturated, and some whiskey in the evening. And there you go. Somebody has thrust this in front of me again.
Yeah,
So Michael Fordsman.
Well, he said, are there any knives made of the same style Damascus as Kagura? And that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, Ken Kagura is the only one making knives like that. But this is Hinura-san. And Hinura-san is making hand-folded Damascus as well. Most Damascus knives you're buying are not hand-folded Damascus. They buy layers of steel. And then they manipulate it to get a Damascus look. But this is the real deal. Boom, boom, boom. And Naoto's giving me something saying about the next garage sale. We've got some more hand-folded Damascus stuff coming. Who's doing that, Naoto? Oh, ho, ho, ho. Okay, so Naoto's saying that next garage sale in May, we might have some hand-forged Damascus from Monaco. We might have some from Hinura. Who's that? Naoto just showed me a picture that was pure sex. Show me that. It's pornography. What are you showing me?
It is pure sex. Remember
Who is this?
when we were doing the sharpening class last week? He was
That is just pornography.
the
I don't even know what I'm looking at. There's like two kinds of Damascus, and
four different steel sets actually.
so it's 4 different steels.
So it's core steel, core Damascus, and the outer steel Damascus as well. Anyway.
So the core steel's Damascus and the outer steel's Damascus. Oh my goodness.
Remember when we were doing the sharpening class last week? There's a guy mentioned that the Hashimoto-san thing.
So these are from Hashimoto-san. Holy. And I didn't know who that was. Somebody had mentioned Hashimoto-san to us last year, or last. And so anyway, there we go. That is awesome. So we might have some of those coming next year.
I'm pretty excited.
That is really exciting. Michiko, oh, this dragon goes this way. Michiko hand carves these crazy dragons and koi and maiko or geisha into these knives. These are 240 millimeter debas. The price on them is $1,020. There's also one that's $950. It's the Karochi one with the black finish. These are all one of a kind. Oh, she's just got such skill. Like, I don't know if you can like see up close. Like, look at each one of these is like done with a hammer and a chisel. Each tiny line. So this is a knife that you wouldn't use so much. This is a knife for display. This is a knife for a collection. This is a knife to have. These are wicked. And we've got 4 of them. That's one of the dragons. I'm sitting down now and I can't reach another one, so I don't know where they are. Here we go. This one here is another dragon, but if you see it's on a Karochi or black blade, that's really right. I've never seen an engraved blade with Karochi before. So I don't know if you can see it. Oh, it's so amazing. And this one, this is the one I love. So it's got sakura blossoms at the top, and it's got a maiko. Look at these. This is Michiko-san that does these. And I'm listening, you can't hear, but I'm listening right now, and I hear Mike pull the knife out of a box and just cut himself. And he said, holy shit, that's sharp. So, Mike, what did you just cut yourself on?
Just
Don't pass it like that.
look at the edge of that knife.
Sakai Ginsen.
It's like sticky sharp.
I'm not going to touch the edge. I'll cut myself now. But yeah, the edge of that blade
So thin.
is so thin.
They do such good job.
That's crazy. Shoot. Okay, I need one of these. I want that one. This is the knife Mike and I want. It's 523. This is a 240 slicer. This is Ginsan, which again is kind of like VG10, but man, it can get really sharp. And it's a bit tougher than VG10. And the Sakai, this is, I love the shape of it too. Mike, that was crazy sharp. That's crazy sharp. Okay, how many of those do we have?
We just got those 10 centimeters, something like that.
So we got about 10 of each of those, Sakai. Ginsan. Are we? If we run out of questions?
Well, there's still 70 people hanging out.
There's 70 people. Oh. Well, if you ask a question, I'll answer it. And if you don't ask questions, maybe I'll just have to go.
Well, you know, just in case people start taking.
All right. Well, let's talk about this. The garage sale, which is what we're having the preview of today, starts November 16th, which is Monday. It starts at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Are we in Standard or Daylight Time now? Anyway, so it's 8 a.m. Mountain Time or 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So 10 a.m. Eastern Time, November 16th, which is Monday. You know what? The four of us, now Nathan, Naoto, Mike, and myself, we're going to be back. We're going to do the same sort of thing. It's going to start at 10 to 10 here on YouTube and Facebook. And the garage sale goes for a week. We're going to do it again Thursday afternoon because we probably have more knives coming in. The best knives are going to be online. Usually the knife shops are really, really busy on garage sale day, but that can't happen anymore. We can't have 40, 50 people in the knife shops. There's a thing called a pandemic going on. You might have heard of it. So we can't do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to have all the good stuff online. So each store has some. Like, don't worry, you can still go there and do it. You just have to. It won't be the same excitement as it usually is, right? Yes, rotten pandemic. As always, free shipping in North America if you buy over $200. We have honing rods and blade guards, the Knife Nerd Guide. Honing rods, when you buy a knife, we sell you a honing rod for half price. They're normally $59, so half price is what, $29.50? Because we want you to have the right tool to take care of your knife. We have blade guards here just to store your knives, to keep them from getting dinged up, and it just slides on like that. So we've always got, always remember to get a knife guard. We've got the book that I wrote called The Knife Nerd's Guide to Japanese Kitchen Knives. I'm sure the knife book's around somewhere. There's probably one, but I don't have one here. Always a good gift, right? So if you're giving a knife to somebody, I always think of the book like the owner's manual for the knife, right? So it just helps somebody understand the knife better and maybe love it even more. So here's the knife book here. We're doing a reprint next year, so I'm in the midst of rewriting. So I'm basically rewriting every chapter, or editing each chapter. We're adding about 8 or 10 different blacksmiths. I've talked to Shibata-san. He's going to write an intro. I'm talking to Andrew-san, who I want him to write a little bit about passing the torch from him, because there's a lot of blacksmiths that we deal with right now that are retiring, and they're just kind of passing the torch on to the young person they work with. So Andrew-san is in the midst of passing it on to Ikeda-san right now. We're going to be.
Just made a great comment that I actually prefer the format we're doing now because they don't live in one of our cities. They get to experience the garage sale better.
So Iceberg Mama says he prefers the garage sale online like this with our videos because he doesn't live in one of our cities. and you can't get to the garage sale, which is great.
When you're talking about the book, Cam and Chris said, "Ooh, the Bible version too."
Oh, Cammy calls my book the Bible version too. Cammy, I love you. You're the best human I know.
Can I ask a couple quick questions?
Yeah. Joe, let's just talk about holiday shopping too. This pandemic thing is really going to change how we celebrate holidays this year, how we shop, how we gift, that sort of thing. And I know that one thing is we can't have the volume of people in our shops anymore. So more and more people are going to be shopping online. And as it is now, most of our shippers can't keep up with demand. So usually Canada Post says, oh, if you get it in the post by December 21st, we can get it anywhere in Canada by the 23rd or the 24th. And that's usually the cutoff date for Canada Post. They haven't given us a cutoff date this year. So I don't think I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I think that if anybody buys things from about the 15th on, it's just going to be late. And so if you are looking for Christmas stuff, I know it seems early to talk about Christmas, but it's the time to start buying Christmas stuff is now, to be honest. We have some questions, or am I free? Do I get to go home?
We got you're almost free from your prison. Most popular question of the day.
Most popular question of the day is coming up from Spaceman 3195. You want to see some custom handle bunkers, Spaceman?
It might be Spachemin.
Oh, Spachemin. Spachemin. I got you, man. I got you. Fancy handle bunkers for Spachemin. I'm going to show you my favorite one last. I'm going to start with one that I think is cool. So this one is 409 Reijin Bunka from Kurosaki. It's got that black with the red stripes and then the blue. That's a pretty cool handle. Then we've got the green, purple, and yellow, the colors everybody has always wanted in a knife handle.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
This is on.
That's like Christmas.
I just think it seems very kingly. Like, this is the robe. If I was a king, my robes would be this color with an ermine collar, obviously. So this is a Masakagi Kumo with 417 bunker with funky handle. Masakagi Kiri for 359, blue and yellow and a little bit of gray here and on the end. That's pretty funky, hey? But this is my winner, because if you know anything about me, you know I like pink handle knives. Ta-da! The pink handle Sasame Bunka. Look at that. Cobalt Steel and $399. If this is around by Tuesday morning, I am 100% taking this home. 100% this is mine. If this doesn't go on the first day, this is mine. 100% that's mine. If any of you jerks buy it, I'm going to be so pissed off. I mean, I'm going to be so disappointed.
This is going to be a nice place.
No, I really want that pink one, like big time. Same as this. I really want this pink. Is this the one? There's one Takeda folder. I gotta find the right one. No, it's this one here. This is the one. I like the shape of that blade, and I love that pink handle. Woo! So that's the one I want. Paul, thank you. Thank you for being patient, Paul. When you asked for the height of this earlier, so the height, this is the Enru, Agami Super, Zuchime, Kobunka. And the height of that blade, Paul, has not changed since the last time I measured it. It is 33, it might be 34 depending on the angle. Between 33 and 34 millimeters tall. So tall enough that you can like still cut on a cutting board without thumping your knuckles into it. So there you go. 33 to 34 millimeters, not centimeters. That would be very big. And if you want to know in inches, it's something. Let's see if I can figure out inches. It's an inch, and that would be a half, so it's not really a half. An inch and a quarter and one more line. What do you think that means, Nathan?
An inch and a quarter and one more line. Well, that's an 8, so that's
So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. An inch and 5/8. Really don't know. I really know metric very well. I don't really know imperial. Sorry about that. But 33 to 34 millimeters tall. And if that's the last question, and if that's the last question, we're going to wrap it up. But Nathan says there's more. So Nathan, hit me up with a question. This is a Tamago pan from, what's it called? Kyogo Prince, right?
Kyogo.
Prince Kyogo.
Artist formerly known as Prince Kyogo.
The artist formerly known as Prince Kyogo makes these killer carbon steel pans. This is the Tamago, or the egg pan. So if you ever have the sushi with the egg on it, where they make these little omelets and they move all the egg over. So they basically pour a little bit of egg in and let it cook, and then they move it over with chopsticks and pour a little bit more in and then put it on top and then move that over. And they make layers of scrambled egg that way. Like little tiny omelets, a bunch of little tiny omelets stacked up. And that's the pan they use for it. I'm so glad, because the first time we got our shipment of these Tamago pans, they were sold out in the first day. And that's when we realized we are terrible at ordering and we don't really know how to run our business. So then we decided to order more. So we got more this time. So hopefully we're getting better at running our business. And somebody wants to know about more Taka knives, apparently. Oh, listen, the most exciting thing, but this knife will be sold in the first second, because I know Don Penny's after it. I know that John Long's after it. It's Agami Super, but it's Ishime finish. This should be the longest lived edge on any Moritaka knife, and it's a Hanasuki, and they make killer Hanasukis, and it's 277, and it's a walnut handle, and it's the only one in existence of Agami Super with Ishime finish. This one will be gone immediately. Pretty sure that Don Penny will grab it. He seems like a cunning guy. Don Penny once, do you know about this, Nathan? Don Penny once wrestled a bear.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
He once wrestled a bear, and he's still got all of his arms, so that's great. I've seen The Revenant. I don't want to wrestle a bear. Also, Moritaka Agami Super Nakiri. I love their Nakiris. I love how flat they are. And also, Agami Super, excuse me, oh, past my bedtime. I go to bed at 7 these days. Well, maybe 10. 343, and this is a 210 millimeter Gyuto? 240. God, it's light. Oh, it's light because it's super thin. So that's 240 millimeter Gyuto. Feels so light though, man. Have you, here, hold this, Nathan. That's really light. I like that.
Yeah. The first knife you ever sold me was a Moritaka 240.
The first knife I ever sold you was a Moritaka 240?
Yes, it was the Ishime.
The Ishime one, that's crazy.
It's still my favorite knife. Like, I still love this stuff.
So anyway, that's some fun stuff for Moritaka that's come in. Don't we have a special hand, a Moritaka knife too? Here it is. So these are both 210 millimeter Gyutos. So if you want to see something special from Moritaka, here we go. 458. It's again Agami Super, and it's got one of these funky handles on it. So that is an absolute one of a kind. And same as this crazy dude. Look at that. Gray and purple. Like, that is cool, man. And I love the details in the wood, these little eyes on this side and that little stripe right there. I think that's great. And I love how this purple here goes around and turns that tan color. There you go. Those are actually, in my mind, the most interesting Moritaka things after that Hanasuki. This might be the last question.
That's sort of 150-ish penny, 90s. Was it 90s or 150? But I just think 150 better.
So somebody's asking about the best 90 to 150 petty, and Nathan went and grabbed these, and he's decided that you're just getting 120s, because 120 and 135 is better than apparently. I'm also going to grab this one here. All right, see this guy? This is, what is it? It's a 90 millimeter Miyazaki So it's a Miyazaki Petty 90 millimeter. It's white carbon steel, number 2, 205. Here is Makoto Kurosaki, so Yu Kurosaki's brother. And this is SG2 powder steel, 135 millimeter, and it's $202. That will be a little workhorse and nice and subtle look about it. And here's from his brother. So that was from Makoto Kurosaki. This is Yu Kurosaki, the opposite of subtle. Let's just say one's quite bling and one's quite refined. So the bling one is $256. It's a Shizuku, and if I remember correctly, that's SG2 powder steel as well, with that pattern that looks like rain falling in a puddle. And here is the Manaka Shirogami, so white carbon steel. I have got the ATS 30 version of this knife at home. Big fan. Also want this one. And then we've got a, for $242 from Kato-san, VG10 and full tang with this red pack of wood Western handle and this etched dark or black Damascus look. And I love these handles. They're so smooth. They just feel so great. And I love the red handle. You don't see a lot of red handles, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the red handles. And how are we doing on questions, Nathan? Is there anybody watching this anymore?
Yeah, there's only like what 65 people watching now. That's about 70.
Well, 65.
Questions though.
65 people. This is, yeah, you could be watching, what's the TV show people watch? You could be watching The Mandalorian. It's Friday. Well, they're only releasing them every Friday. I didn't know that.
I didn't know you liked Star Wars.
Of course I like Star Wars. I was 7 when I went to Star Wars. So, and it was new. It was in the cinema. So shut up, Nathan. I know you're 29 years younger than me. I was 7 when I went to the first Star Wars. It was a puppet show. This was before we had the talkies. It was puppets, sock puppets. Oh, Luke. Oh, Yoda.
Is the new book? Jerry Kurt's really looking forward to this. They're the person that calls it the Bible. Looking forward to the next book revision. Is the new one going to be hardcover?
Yeah, I like hardcover books. So Tammy is asking if the new revision of the Knifewear book would be hardcover. Yep, that's the plan. It's going to be, there's going to be new covers, going to be new photography. Visti and I are planning a new trip. We got to wait until we're allowed to go back to Japan for a new trip. And like I said, we're adding 6 to 8 new blacksmiths. We're going to Hanyaki factory, so there's going to be a big factory section for Hanyaki in there. Andrew-san's writing a bit. Shibata-san's writing a bit. Naoto might have a stab at some advanced sharpening section. He might I just might make him write it in Japanese. That'll be fun. So we'll probably talk about things like these finger stones. So we've got finger stones now. Nathan, do you know what the finger stones are on the garage sale? Or if they're not on the garage sale? Well, how would you find them? What do you have to search to get the finger stones? So anyway, finger stones are like small pieces of sharpening stone you can use. There you go. 100. So they're just finger stones. And you can use them. So what you would do is you would take one of these and make one side really flat. So just rub it on a flattening stone. And then you can use that to polish that gray edge right there to make the hard steel shine and to make the soft steel fuzzy looking. That's called a Kasumi finish. And that's what you use those finger stones for. Christian Fryer wants to see a blue or green handle all-purpose knife. Well, this one's free, which is great. It's the 165 millimeter from Sakai Kikimori. And this is a green handle all-purpose knife. This is, I don't even know what steel this is, Naoto. Nathan. I think you're right. I think it's VG1, a 165 millimeter all-purpose Santoku, and it's cheap. It's like 120 or something like that. Oh, 165. There we go. It's 165 with a green handle. Here's a blue handle, Fujimoto. So it's these guys, the Fujimoto hammer tone. This line's called, and look at that. So it's a fancy blue handle, and that looks like oak. The oak colored stuff looks like oak, and a dark butt on there. So that's a super fun handle. So there's you go, a blue or green handle, done. If there's any more questions, let me know. If not, we'll just sign off. We'll just say, you know, we're going to do this again on Monday morning. The sale starts 10 a.m. Eastern time. I will be drooling and purchasing knives all through the day, and hopefully there'll be something left when it's my turn to buy, which will be after 6 o'clock. Actually, it'll be Tuesday morning. So hopefully some things last at night. Sean Coots, who recently made a 7-foot Santoku, said in lockdown he made a Han Solo's blaster. I would like it. Sean Coots, can I hire you to make me a Han Solo blaster? I need that. It'd be fun. Does it work? Does it blast people? Can I kill Guido?
It just shoots an axe.
Oh, it shoots an axe. It's an axe shooting knife, or an axe shooting blaster, which is good. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Peace out. It was great to see you. We'll see you again on Monday, I think.
Yeah, November 16th at 8 a.m.
November 16th, 8 a.m. Ciao. 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. But you know what? It's even going to be 10 minutes early. We're going to sign in about 10 minutes early and let you get a jump on some of the one-of-a-kind stuff. Okay. Ciao for now. Thanks.